Hello? Hello? Hi, I'm Mintmai! Welcome back to another stream! I don't know why I was so nervous to start today. Hi! Did you notice my background's a little bit different? I have the credits, as usual, in my little asset section, but for today's stream, we're in a cute little sunflower knoll. Is that not a very appropriate spot to be for today? I thought that it was good for today. Yes. Let me fix something in my OBS settings because I realized that perhaps I have something is off. Okay, fixed it. Yippee! Hi everyone. Hi. It's only been like a day of no stream, but I feel like I was like, oh my gosh, what if I forgot how to stream? What if I forgot how to stream? But I didn't, thankfully. I've just done... Let's see. I guess long story short, I've done more work in like the last 48 hours than I did in the last 2 weeks. Because I sacrificed all of my time to the fantastic, omnipresent VCRAFT gods, and I was reaping the consequences of that for the for the last 48 hours. Wow, so many emotes now. Ah, yes. Yes. Over on the tube. Over on the tubes. You tubes. I went in and I added way more emotes because we unlocked a bunch more thanks to everyone's memberships and support. So I'm really grateful. Thank you guys. Thank you. But for today's stream, I think it's pretty straightforward. We're actually going to talk a lot about VCRAFT, finally. I was going to make my other, chatting stream VCRAFT related. I guess the first stream after VCRAFT. That was going to be my post VCRAFT Zatsudan, but as we all know, that just ended up being a me exposing myself and what I like stream. So we're here now. Alrighty, let's get some of the fan arts up. I think there's new ones that are not in my slideshow. I have to fix that. Thank you guys for waiting for me to sort of come around and get ready to talk about VCrafting stuff, because I think, I don't know, I definitely miss it. And there is lots to be missed, but also a lot of stuff that I guess when I think about it, I'm just like, wow, isn't it amazing that we just got to enjoy that? I'm sure you guys are right there in the boat with me, but you're going to have to pry VCRAFT from my cold hands. You will not be taking it from me anytime soon. Not to say that streams will be necessarily about it. Things will be pretty, back to my usual sort of variety schedule soon enough, but yeah, I'm kind of stuck here for now, mentally. Speaking of being stuck here, in my head at least, I swear I'm going somewhere with this, but we're currently in the Steam autumn sale season, and I was looking at games, that I could play, because it ends in 2 days. Yeah, now through October 6th. So I was just looking at a bunch of different games, and one of the games that's on sale, I don't want to play it. It's Sons of the Forest. And I bring this up because Mlem, Malem, also known as Mlem, my redheaded grandson, Mlem found out that I really don't like horror games, and I really can't handle horror. And his response to that was, oh my gosh, we should play a horror game. Oh my gosh, we should play a horror game together. He was just like, we should play a horror game together. We should get everyone that can't handle horror, and you guys should play a horror game with me. I know we were just talking about it though, like very recently. So I don't know if it'll happen or not because I'm just like, wow. Look at this game on sale, Sons of the Forest. It's multiplayer, scary game. It's too bad I'll never... It's too bad I won't buy it. It's just too bad. But I think he really wants to make us suffer. Help me, help me. I don't want to play horror at all. That would be fun though. Would it be fun for you guys? Or would it be fun for me? You know what I'm saying? Would it be... Oh my gosh. Steam is recommending me a Yuri visual novel. I'm just gonna quietly add that to my wishlist. Quietly just boop, adding that to my wishlist. Pretty women. Anyways, I will close Steam now. I just opened it to check if there was a different horror game that was on sale. I mean, horror is either easier or worse with friends. It's a gamble. That's true. Which visual novel? I did not get the name. I only saw pictures of it. Let me see. Where can I see my Steam wishlist? Where can I see that? I just clicked on it. I'm gonna find it. Oh, right here, Love Curse. Steam was recommending me Love Curse. It's called Find Your Soulmate. Love Curse is a GL visual novel. You've fallen under a curse, and the only way to break it is to find your soulmate. The clock is ticking. Will you find true love? And what secrets will you uncover along the way? Okay, but the women look beautiful. It has overwhelmingly positive reviews. I don't even play many visual novels. But like, they're pretty. Writing it down. They look pretty. Oh my gosh. just noting this for later. Okay, closing it for now. Hi Min. Hi Lexus. Hello. The great thing about coding games is that you procrastinate them. You procrastinate on them, just like in real life. Eh? Wait, speaking of games, have you guys seen Gog? That's another game I really want to play. I think I will do a stream where we play Gog when I return from my little trip. I think I haven't mentioned it quite enough yet, but I will be on a trip. I'm gonna travel from tomorrow, actually. I'm leaving tomorrow. It's so soon. I wasn't expecting it to come right after, you know, VCRAFT and everything, but I will be traveling tomorrow and I will be back on the 13th. So I think I'll put up a waiting room though. It's super endearing to see you and the other livers enjoy the works we put out for VCRAFT. Reassures us that you love the experience just as much as we did. Trust me, we're not over it. I am not going to be over it for a really long time. I do not care if everyone moves on and whatnot. And I think, you know, people have been, you know, returning to their streaming activities, right? Because we're all very busy and we have our own things that we wanna do. But I think, like, pretty much everyone I see that's active in our Mindcord, they're pretty active in Mindcord to be like, hey guys, like, let's still hang out and let's still do something together sometime. So yeah. In fact, I haven't checked the Mindcord. There's like so many threads. I have to look at it closely to make sure I'm not missing anything. Oh my gosh, that is a big word. Good big word though. The schadenfreude of watching people who hate horror games play a horror game gives me joy. You're so evil. Sick and twisted. Safe travels. Yes, thank you. I'll take a lot of photos for you guys. I'm actually going to touch grass, like real grass. I know, right? Not just Minecraft. Not just Minecraft and dirt grass. I actually planned this trip a little bit last minute, honestly, but it's because it's gonna be my mom's birthday. But I'm actually going to go and travel quite a distance to like see nature. See nature and be out there. I think I will still have internet, so you'll see me tweeting from the amongst the trees. But I think it'll be really nice. It'll be really, really wonderful, especially after kind of being stuck in my room, either grinding work or, you know, games, which was worth it. I will never regret it. It was the most wonderful thing ever. But yeah, it's not pixelated grass. It's like real, real tangible foliage. Isn't that crazy? While we're chit-chatting here though, let me actually get my proper Minecraft link. Oh my gosh. I am not okay. My marshmallow link. Let's see. Ask me anything. Okay, so you guys can ask me absolutely anything. It can be related to me, Minterva, or VCRAFT. Although I think my focus today will still be on VCRAFT and Granny Minterva. Because I think there's a lot about her I haven't really been able to share, or I haven't put energy into sharing yet. Let me get you guys the proper marshmallow link. Minecraft link. Hey. You must forgive me. You must forgive me. I still talk like Calvin, honestly. I must away. Did you guys know that we could have had Maid Cafe Calvin, and we could have had Yandere Malum? That's the craziest thing to me as far as VCRAFT Enchanted AU goes. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean that we could have had it all? We could have had it all! My word. My word! We could have had it all. Rolling in the deep. Actually, robbed. Well, honestly, because we didn't get that, we had such wonderful and wholesome interactions, so I'm not mad at it, but like, I don't know. You can go and watch Calix's Calvin stream to see Maid Calvin. I think that was like the most kudere oshikunare moe kyun I've ever heard. It was awesome. It was fantastic, and I'm sure that all of you guys were eating it up. I thought it was very fun. I don't know if there's an existing instance of Yandere Malum, but I'm sure that it will happen someday. Maybe another RP event he will want to take up on the chance to be Yandere. Let's put this over here. Look at this beautiful logo. I'm gonna miss putting this logo in my thumbnails. I'm really going to miss it. Being able to have this like on every single thumbnail. Just like, oh my gosh, yay, another day in VCRAFT. Another day. Yeah, let me decide where I want everything. Sometimes it takes me a second because I want it to be adorable. I want you guys to stare at everything. Alrighty, well, that being said, I need that to happen bad. Wow. Alrighty. I think I have that fan art slideshow is pretty up to date. So it should be good. And if I missed any though, I do want them. If I ever miss any untagged art or anything, I'm not used to having or finding or seeing untagged art, fan art. But if it's okay with the artist, I totally want to see it and, you know, share it and praise it. Look at this cute little whoop. I have like a cute little curtain I can put behind it. That's kind of cute, guys. That is kind of adorable. Let's keep that. I'm sorry. I'm a sucker for making stuff look really, really cute. So let's have that. Wow. And then we can put this in the middle here. Yay! Little VCRAFT Enchanted fan art slideshow. Oh my gosh! Yay! It just like scratches an itch in my brain if I can showcase everything like this. It's biscuit shaped. Yeah, that's intentional. I used this image for something else in the past, but I think it's very appropriate to use right now. It's a little paper doily or a biscuit. But yeah, I'm gonna start looking at the Maros as well. Let's see. Where's my inbox? Dun, 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 dun. Alrighty. So here's the marshmallow link for questions. We're just gonna be so chill today. I'm like super eepy, but it's a good thing. Taking it so easy. You're so excited for when the VCRAFT Enchanted World becomes available for fans? Me too. Me too. Rubbing my fly hands together because I'm so sneaky. I love leaving like a little Easter egg. And so as I mentioned before, I think once it becomes public, I'll retweet it and let you guys know again. But I hid something somewhere on the map. Or not me, but Granny Minterva hid something relevant somewhere on the map, and I don't think you're gonna find it, but I'm gonna give everyone like a week. And if they don't find it, I will share the location and then share a photo and be like, you didn't find it, but you know, all fun and games. It would be very funny if someone found it on accident. Dun, dun, dun. But I'll leave it at that because I don't want to say too much. I don't want to give away too much, you know? No spoilers. No spoilers, everyone. Bum, 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 bum. But yeah, VCRAFT is truly, I don't know, very, very special. Very special to me, very special to Granny. Did you know? I commissioned some artwork lately and I got it back. I haven't posted it yet because I'm saving it. If you happen to accidentally see it, like if the artist posts it or something, just pretend you didn't because it's like a surprise. But I didn't even ask for this because I commissioned it months and months ago. But I guess they saw that I was like bread and bakery themed. There's jam in the background. And I saw it because they finished it like towards the end or after VCRAFT ended. And I was like, I'm just gonna get really emo and in my feelings again. I was looking at the art and I was like, wow, I'm so excited. Let's see. You're gonna enjoy the public server through osmosis. That sounds like a good time. I mean, I've been reliving everything just through everyone else's POVs because I still have so much to watch from everyone else. I also loved it when Minterva sang "Here Comes a Thought" to Calvin. Oh my gosh. the fact that I didn't know that the copyright would be an issue, because I guess as an indie VTuber, the only issue I ever face with any copyright is official BGM. So I obviously avoid official BGM, but it's different for VTubers with their contracts under companies and like other copyright laws. It gets complicated. And I know in the moment, Calvin had to go OOC and was like, I'm sorry. I didn't know. I had no idea. I was full screened in Minecraft then, so I didn't even know. I did see in post, like in someone's clip, that he tried to whisper to me in Minecraft first, so he didn't have to like say anything and interrupt me. I felt so bad. Boo, copyright. It's okay. I finally, you know, like Granny got to do a serenade in the final hours because Calvin wasn't streaming that. So I was like, I'm indie. Giggles in indie VTuber where I can sing a cappella any song and it doesn't get me in trouble. I don't know why that is, but again, you know, rules are rules, and I can only respect people who take great care to, you know, follow them. It's a lot of effort, you know. The gesture is still nice. It is. It is. I was super nervous, to be entirely honest, because I didn't know anything, right? I barely knew anything about the people behind the characters in VCRAFT until I spoke to them a little bit more. But it was just like a very, I don't know, I get very sentimental, and it's one of those things where like I volunteered at summer camp before, and the kids are really sweet, and at the end of the week, like I like serenading them. Every time my life reaches a point where it's like an end of an era, I really like serenading, even though I don't, like, I get nervous singing in front of other people. It's gotten better thanks to streaming, and the fact that it was all in Minecraft made me less nervous, but it's like when I graduated from school one year, I serenaded my closest friends on the ukulele because it was rough when we were like, it's an end of an era, and like, sure, we can keep in touch with each other, but our lives are probably going in many different directions from this point in time, you know? Oh, wait, did I actually make him cry? No! No, grandson! I think I might be getting called Granny or Grandma forever. I don't mind. I quite like it. I think it's very endearing and very sweet. Because Malum straight up was like, I think I'm just gonna be calling you Granny forever because it just fits. And then when I said, when I was like half lurking, half chatting in the Calvin stream, Calix's Calvin stream. See, it's easy because Malum's name is the same either way. I'm still making sure to make the mental switch for pretty much everyone else. I keep wanting to call Vox Vitruvius II. Vitruvius or Dampic Zarthrop. I don't actually know his full name. The youngest grandma around. Is your username Hoshiomi? Hehehe. Nice. I love. But yeah, when I stopped by, swung by Calvin, or the Calvin lore stream. He's just like, hi grandma, and I'm like, okay, this is never going away, and I'm here for it. Honestly, the reason why I chose a grandma to be a grandma in VCRAFT Enchanted was because it is not too far off from how I behave normally anyway. I think my demeanor is not too far off from Granny. Like, yes, I might be a little bit more chaotic in actualization, but in actuality, I can't talk. But the running joke that I've been a granny has been as old as I've been streaming almost. Because all I did was talk about liking Galaga, guys. That was all I did. I said, oh my gosh, I love Galaga. It's so fun. Whenever I go to the arcade, I like to spend my quarters on a little Galaga because it's fun. I like pew-pewing the aliens. It's fun. You can memorize the patterns. But then chat was like, oh my gosh, you were definitely born when Galaga came out, and I was like, that's not how that works. They're like, wow, you were like alive when Galaga came out. You must be so old. Galaga and Galaxian are bangers. I just like the traditional Galaga, honestly. I know there's like a bunch of different, like there's like Space Invaders or whatnot. Not the same. It's gotta just be Galaga, like classic 1981, I think? Like the 19-something Galaga. Yeah. So the granny thing has been a very long time running joke. So becoming a granny for VCRAFT Enchanted was pretty automatic. And you know the other reason, the real reason I chose to be a grandma? It was mostly because I didn't know anyone yet. And if I was acting as a very old person, it would make me brave enough to just speak my mind. Because you know how old... I say this very positively. Oh, I did memorize the year correct? Nice. But I say this in the most positive light. You know how old people, they just like don't care what other people think? Because they're kind of just like, I've like lived my life and I do not have the time or the energy to give two figs about what anyone else thinks of me. Like, I will do what I want. I will tell the kids to get off my lawn. I will be sassy, cranky, happy, jolly. I like that. I can't wait to be old and seasoned so that I can feel so free. I'm trying to channel that without having to age to get there. Yeah, the wise role too. I think I was thinking that I could be like old and wise, but more importantly, that way I could try and be silly and not worry about, I don't know. Like, I just didn't want to worry about how I felt about myself in the moment, I guess. Where I was like, if I'm really old, then people will just be like, oh, you know, she's just old granny. She's just doing her old granny thing, rambling on to the kids, being, you know, being weird like old grannies are. So that's definitely how I approached it, I suppose, because I'm so scared in general of meeting new people, so nervous about meeting new people, and I've never experienced anything like VCRAFT before, but yeah. Let's see, we have some nice questions for us today, some nice Maros. Okay, let's get this started. Let's start with this question. This one's a little bit more about me, Mintmai. But let's see. This person asks, apologies if this wasn't already, if this was already answered. No need to apologize. Even if you guys ask the same question, I'll just like combine them with the power of my mind. But this flower friend asks, where did your username come from? Super cute. First of all, thank you for finding my username cute. Actually, do you guys know about gamer tags? Let's see. Because I used to play, you know, whenever I played some games, I wanted my nickname to just be Mint. And that is a way longer story, but my nickname just happens to be Mint. And so I knew that I wanted Mint to be in my final username. But when I started streaming, I was not very familiar with VTubing culture. And honestly, I'm still learning. So if I ever make any mistakes, like I want to know, you know, I do think I'm still learning, and there's, you know, lots of differences depending on, I guess, what kind of VTubers or what kind of background, right, you're from with VTubing. But when I started streaming, I was like, I just need a username that isn't taken. At the time, it was, I need a username that's not taken by Twitch. And so I was like, okay, I just want to, like, I thought about it a little bit, and Mai is actually not my name, but I don't mind if you call me Mai as well. Some people call me Mai because it helps differentiate them from other people named Mint. But it doesn't matter to me. My nickname is officially Mint, but I'm just Mintmai, one name, one word. But the Mai half of my name comes from Mai, which is actually Mandarin for wheat, so like bread. I think that that's like an Easter egg I really like. Let me... Mai just sounds so cute. I am glad you think so. Mai is also a really cute name. And so I'm plenty happy if people call me that. I wasn't used to it at the very start, but I am now. But yeah, so it's Mintmai. Well, Mai is like wheat or barley in Chinese. So I think it was just cute to combine them, like Mintmai, because I am also a very... This might sound a little bit odd, but I'm a very big fan of how letters are shaped. Like, I care about how letters look next to each other when making a username. Like, they kind of need to... I wanted to make sure that my username had no letters that, like, went below the line. This is just a very personal... weird personal thing. So if you type out Mintmai, even with the capital M at the front or all lowercase, my name, you know, it kind of looks cute. And it looks balanced, like the T, if it's symmetrical, right? I'll like type it out for you guys. If it's symmetrical and you look at the T, it looks kind of nice. This is just my brain, like me wanting to scratch the part of my brain that feels satisfied by this, okay? And the other thing is my Oshi mark is a pretzel, right? But it's also a pretzel not only because I grew up really liking honey almond pretzels, but the pretzel looks like an M. And so Mintmai having two M's, like it's so satisfying. G, Y, P, and Q have left the building. I don't think I've ever had a username with any of those letters before in my life. Like not even if I was playing a game or anything, I never had a nickname that had letters that dipped downward. It's like very much just a... I want to scratch the part of my brain that feels pleased by that. Yeah, everything needs to look like cute, you know? It's just fun to put in the bit of extra effort to be like, let's spice it up and make it look adorable. Miss, you're a genius. You compliment me too much. Oh my gosh. But yeah, the other thing though is after learning a little bit more about VTubing and VTubers, I realized a lot of VTubers, they have Japanese names because they borrowed or they learned about VTubers from Japanese VTubers. And I was like, well, I don't think I have a Japanese name. I don't officially have one. However, in my head, if I want the pun to still work, umai is like slang or a way you can say yummy or tasty. Umai. And so if you combine my nickname Mint with umai, then you get Mintmai. So it's still like yummy food, bread, bakery theme. That's how I think about it. Cute, right? I love it. It satisfies me personally, and that's enough. You guys want to know another Easter egg? Do you want to know? Are you ready to know? I don't know if I got to mention this. I might have, but if you haven't seen them before, please look inside my eyes. Look in my eyes, dear flower friend. Do you see something? There's baguette. I have baguette as my eye highlights. Is that bread at the bottom? It's a loaf of baguette and then there's a little heart too. It's on my 3D model too. But because I drew myself, I was very intentional with how I designed my eyeballs. And it's not like something that you have to ever draw if you're an artist or anything. A lot of people, they just make my eyes like it's a warm highlight. But it's because my eyes, IRL, and my hair, IRL, I have black eyes and black hair, but it's actually just a very, very dark brown, right? Like black hair most of the time, it's naturally a very dark brown. So if I stand in the sunlight, my eyes, they turn brown and my hair reflects brown. But yeah, how are you not the breadwinner at this point? I actually specifically choose to not be a baker in RP context because I wouldn't be branching out enough. That's what it made me really happy that we had 2 separate bakeries in New Witchington because I could just enjoy the bakery vicariously without actually having to build it myself. I was so happy about that. I was like, yeah, baked goods and I don't have to put in the work. That is cash money. That's such a funny way to describe my Easter eggs. Hello, Frayed or Farid. So good to see you. Thank you for liking my eyes. You know, I really like that your eyes are like perma-closed. It makes me so happy. Although I was shocked that your model even could open your eyes. Because from your reference sheet, I thought that it was just like... I thought that you couldn't open them. But then you streamed as Farid and your eyes were like... Because they're so blue. Frayed looking at us with his really, really big blue eyes like... Brown eyes are so beautiful. I agree. I think when I was really little, you know, you read the fairy tale books and like the princess the princesses, they have like blonde or red hair and they have like blue and green eyes, and I'm like, wow, it must be so cool to have blue or green eyes. So I would imagine it in my head as a little kid, but then I grew up and I was like, no, you know, however you're born is awesome. Yeah, but I really like characters with dark hair and dark eyes as an aesthetic anyways, but the fact that I can reflect that part of myself as a VTuber too, you know, it makes me feel really happy when things are like one-to-one. So that's just me. That's my approach with, you know, designing too. I just kind of live vicariously through my fashion. I normally have like 4 model emotes that are related to my eyes, but I don't even open them normally. I like that your eyes are closed. Wait, are they brown this entire time? My eyes? They've always been brown with a little bit of warm orange just at the bottom. Yeah, like the bottom 3rd or 4th of my eyes, maybe? He needs to buy brown contacts. No wonder Frayed keeps his eyes closed. Oh my gosh. All the bakers were bad guys? Not Rosie. Rosie only attempted an assassination of the mayor. I'm gonna defend Rosie with my life because she is so sweet, and I walked her down the aisle. Granny walked her down the aisle for her wedding. I can't believe we got... Can we talk about this for a second? We got a real wedding episode for VCRAFT Enchanted. I felt like I was living in like the K-dramas that I like grew up watching, because why does the last episode always have a wedding? I mean, her shot landed. Yeah, but like he was fine. He was fine, and then there's the court case, and he got to, you know, he got to get back at her, so it was okay. It was all in good fun. It was to add to the drama, everyone. Bum, 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 bum. Let's see. All the group events were so fun and such variety. I agree. Also, hold on. I want to do something really quick. I decided... I'm wearing this right now. It's my baker uniform. But I decided I kind of feel like wearing something different today. Do you mind if I change? Just like live on stream? It'll be so fast. It'll be so very fast. You won't even know what happened. If you don't mind, I actually have like I have a curtain. So hang on. Excuse me for a moment. I'm just gonna change. I have a really cute outfit that would be perfect for today. Okay. Awesome. Are you guys ready for the little outfit? Do we need to look away? No, it's okay. I got my curtain. Yippee! This outfit is really comfy. I wanted to wear this because then I can show you guys. I can close the coat. I can open the coat. The coat can come off. I have a short sleeve version of it. I just really like this because it's very fluffy. And I haven't worn it recently. It's been a while. This is also my favorite part. I can look like you. Eh? I look like flower friends. We match now. OMG, it's so cute. Give it to me. We're matchies. Anyways, just as we yap today, might as well. I haven't worn it in a while. And now it's, you know, it's fall officially. It's autumn. It's getting cooler. We can do this. Anywho, next question. Dun, dun, dun. I'm just gonna keep changing outfits throughout the stream, probably. Just whenever we feel like it. We can change it whenever we want. Comfy outfit for a comfy stream. Yeah! I try and change up my clothes ever so frequently, I suppose. Let's see. Bum 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 bum. Granny Mint, how do you feel about the whole VCRAFT stream and meeting these new people on let's see, Granny Mint, what's your feeling about the whole VCRAFT streams and meeting these new people in my streaming career? And also, we got really emotional on your last goodbye to Calvin in your house. Thank you. Thank you so much for the marshmallow. Ooh. Man, I think I have a lot of thoughts about this. I think I'm really, really happy that I have met a lot of people for the first time through VCRAFT, like fellow people that were in VCRAFT as content creators, but also some of you guys have been so sweet and lovely. So I'm really, really grateful for that. It is definitely exciting and new. The other thing is, I think even if we met through VCRAFT, right? Everyone's really, really busy, but at the very least, something that I got as a takeaway is I have new content creators I want to support. There are people that I did not previously get to watch, that I do watch now, and that I try and put up in the background because we met during VCRAFT, and I'm like, wow, you're wonderful. I just, you know, I also want to support you, just like watching your streams if I can. In my own small way, I just want to participate. And so that makes me really, really happy. And I'm glad that I guess I wasn't the only one that was really emotional about my final goodbyes to New Witchington, because that made me feel so many things. Frayed, this is not a Labubu. I swear I made this hood before Labubus were popular, okay? This outfit, I debuted it in like September of 2024. I'm gonna put it out there right now. I had this hoodie before Labubus were popular. I keep wanting to say Nabubu. Nabubu is the superior boo-boo. Oh, I'm glad you guys also have enjoyed, you know, being introduced to new creators. I mean, there's plenty of creators I knew of, but I just never got around to watching them or getting to know them, you know? So the fact that VCRAFT happened, I was like, oh my gosh. I don't know. It's just something that when you meet people through something that makes you feel so deeply, your memories, you know, not to say that your memories get mixed together, right? Because obviously they can be a separate person within their streams and things, but it just makes you feel very warm and tender for anyone that you got to share that experience with. Like you end up having a soft spot, and there's just like a you know, little special locket in my heart for so many people that were so wonderful this whole time. But yeah, thank you for your Maro. Thank you for the question. Let's see. A lot more Maros to come. Let's see, what is your... I got another one. I hope that they're saving okay, or like I got the images pulled up okay. Let's see. Top 3 favorite characters in VCRAFT. Ooh. This is a juicy question. This is a loaded question. My favorite or Minterva? Because I think we have probably different favorites. The truth of the matter is Minterva's lens of everyone that she met in VCRAFT is going to be super biased, because she very specifically had very in-depth conversations and in-depth experiences with specific characters. And honestly, I don't want to leave anyone out because everyone was so wonderful. But me as Mintmai, as someone outside, like looking in from the outside at VCRAFT, story-wise, I think that Zealand had the most complete story. While it ended in a way that puts us in a pool of tears, it ended really sad. I can only admire the dedication for that solo stream. Like, it was so smart. It is so smart to have a character that's like, I'm gonna leave the fact that he said in the moment, I'm gonna leave the village if like the villains are reaccepted back into the community, I'm gonna leave. The fact that he followed through on that and went out of his way to like come up with this creative idea to make a solo world with the same mods and like complete his story that way, it's beautiful. Oh my gosh, it feels so complete, you know? Even if it doesn't satisfy the warm, like the part of me that wants the warm and fluffy ending for everyone, that doesn't make a good story, right? A happy ending for everyone usually means that a lot of people are sacrificing too much. Like a happy ending for absolutely everyone might not be a true happy ending. Like, this is just the writer in me that's like, you know? And I don't know how much of it Zeal specifically planned, but he did say, you know, if Vitruvius and the others that betrayed the town, which is, you know, in a place where theft is not as deep or heavy of a crime, in a place where death means you get reincarnated with occasional exceptions, what is the worst crime? It is deceit and betrayal. And so the fact that people that had deceit and betrayal were sort of brought back into the community like within 24 hours, that rubbed Zealand the wrong way. And he did explain that Zealand was actually, you know, a character that was suppressing deep anger. He mentioned, like, OOC, out of character, that Zealand felt like if Vitruvius and the Knights of Ars and those that had supposedly turned, you know, their backs on the village, turned against the village, if they were brought back into the community, Zealand would not be able to contain his anger. And that is why Zealand leaves, because he couldn't trust himself to remain kind. And I thought that was beautiful. Like, me, Mintmai, is like, oh, that's so beautiful. I think Granny Minterva was like really sad about it though. Granny Minterva, I think, would be remorseful of Zealand leaving because she barely got to talk to Mr. Zealand. She didn't get to talk to Mr. Zealand, but she knows that Dr. Buttocks and Lamp really love Mr. Zealand. And Granny Minterva has had so much help from Lamp and Dr. Buttocks, and specifically with Lamp, Granny Minterva had some of the deepest and most heartfelt like conversations about life and the world. And so the fact that Mr. Zealand would leave without saying a word, it does make Minterva sad, you know? And so she secretly, I think, wistfully hopes that they could have like spoken more as like elders of the village. But yeah, I think as a character, Zealand is the most I want to say that Zealand is the most fleshed out in terms of what he actually was able to do in the 12 days. And I know that he wasn't, you know, I don't know if Zeal was intending on that. I love that term, accidentally became important network. He was like, I just want to bake, but then ended up having like a very deep and very heavy story arc. But yeah, it made me cry, the story. And I think that it's beautiful to be able to tell that kind of story. So full kudos to Zeal for pulling that off. And I think Zealand is a great character, you know? Zealand is a very warm character, but knowing that he has that other side to him, the one that's suppressing anger, it's just like, what a great character. So that is me, Mintmai. Like, I really like Zealand's story. And you did ask top 3, so I could definitely be biased, but another favorite character, I haven't seen all of the POVs yet, but another favorite character for sure has to be Calvin, because of how Calvin is portrayed. I think that Calvin is portrayed really well, especially after listening to some of the behind the scenes stuff. I think that Calyx did a really good job writing Calvin and coming up with honestly a very well thought out backstory for Calvin. Everything about Madeline and the fact that Calvin himself is an unreliable narrator that will paint Madeline through rose-tinted glasses, right? Calvin is a homunculi that doesn't know how he was made, but his mother, Madeline, made him, and then Calvin helps with the research. But, you know, when he questions why Madeline would make him, she gets really upset and she doesn't give an answer. And I just like, I think Madeline is a very interesting character. I keep saying Madeline because I'm thinking about the baked good, but Madeline is such an interesting character. And as a result, Calvin, who was abandoned in a tower for a year, is such an intriguing character. And I think very difficult to pull off. So again, kudos. Kudos to Calyx for pulling it off, because he did talk about how he wanted to try and see what it would be like to act a character who was never socialized. And I thought about it and I was like, what would that look like? What would it look like for a human being? Because yes, Calvin is a homunculi, but I believe that homunculi are not different from human beings, because if you're to say the difference in conception is what determines whether or not you're human, like, I don't think that's I don't think that, my opinion about homunculi is that doesn't impact anything. If you have the exact same chemical makeup, you are biologically a human, you're just lacking a belly button. I see no difference, you know? I see absolutely no difference. And if you wanted a belly button, I'm sure you could obtain one somehow. Like, like cosmetically, you know? But I think, I need to watch that whole stream. I got to see some of it where he was drawing and talking about his character lore. I found that to be awesome because I did not put that much thought into my character initially. I definitely made a little character profile, you know, for fun, for some context, which turned out, you know, her fate changed, but, you know, fascinating, right? I'm obviously very attached to Calvin, the character, but I do think, how do you explore a character that not only has not been socialized with other human beings, has only known one specific person their whole life, raises themselves on books alone, and is also, you know, a selfish character? Like, I like that though. I love what was explored there. And the fact that Calyx was waiting to crash out as Calvin, but it never got to happen because everyone was like too nice. I remember like thinking to myself like, oh man, when he was like, I wanted to crash out and go like, you've never even met her, when the townspeople were talking badly about Vitruvius. I really wish he could have had that crash out, honestly, after he was talking about it, because that would have been so cool for Calvin's character. But it makes sense that maybe in the RP, like the village people, they're just like, oh, he's secretly working with Vitruvius, and then just kind of starts avoiding. Oh no. I think in his words, he said like people just started acting really weird and avoiding Calvin. Lan! Oh my gosh, if you guys don't already know, Lan, thank you for the raid, Lan. I love you so much. I love you so much, you know that? You're so sweet and wonderful. Oh my gosh. But yeah, there's Lan, who is Lamp in VCRAFT Enchanted. Lan is one of the only two people, I think? One of the only people that, what do you call it? Oh yeah, one of the only two people that called Granny Minterva Grandma. Like just Grandma, nothing else. And that's why I'm very intentional with the usage, because I think Calvin is the first person that says, can I call you Grandma? Or is, you know, he asked for permission. And I honestly think Grandma suits Calvin a lot better, like, because he's so formal, you know? he's so formal in nature. So him going like, could I call you Grandma instead of Granny? Because maybe Calvin thinks that Granny, this is just my interpretation of the character, but maybe he thinks Granny is like too casual because the way he talks, you know, is very, very flowery and very poetic, probably because of all the books, you know? Just like home, I unconsciously say it. Oh my gosh, guys, I love Lan so much. I love Lan so much. I actually, wait, let me go to the last question. I was asked about my favorite VCRAFT characters. I'm talking about me, Mintmai's favorite characters, without any bias for people that Granny was talking to. My next favorite character, and these are not, you know, they're not in any order or ranking. I just thought that Zealand is a favorite character because of how he finished his story arc. Like, just with the tragedy. So epic, awesome. But Lan, your character, Lamp, was actually another favorite. Because I think without Lamp, I can't imagine my time in VCRAFT, or I can't imagine New Witchington as a whole without Lamp's paintings. Because I think that they sum up a lot of the warmth in New Witchington and like the town. I feel like the art gallery was such a representation of things that made me really, really happy in my time in New Witchington. And so it became very important to me. Yeah. Amongst other favorites, the mayor. Clifford Rolex's heir to the Rolex's fortune. Though I left that life behind, see dirts like the worms, much like yourselves. Yeah, so Clifford Rolexis was very much comedic relief character to me, and even as he started developing into witchcraft or witchblade, it made me smile so hard every time I heard super hell. Or, well, at first it was slingshot, and then it was, yes, I was going to send Granny straight to super hell. So the mayor was such a comedic relief character. I think that he would lighten up a lot of the heavier emotional RP by just existing and being an absolute hoot. You know? So, yeah. Absolutely adore that. But yeah, Lamp added so much. I agree. Lan's hiding. Are you shy? Are you shy, Lan? Freyed is agreeing with me. But Freyed says she made every moment feel much more real. Exactly. Because of your gallery and moments in magic, you know, if you read your artist statement, it's just kind of like, I think it resonates a lot, not only with our RP characters, but with us as the players, right? Because us as the players going in, some of us have jobs, some of us have schools, some of us also like are in varying, you know, varying positions and spots in our lives, or we're like, you know, some people are full-time content creating, but we can all relate to the feeling of feeling trapped within the four white walls and just making ends meet. I think that everyone has probably experienced something akin to that. Even if it's not like a literal office job, there's probably been a time where you felt like that in your life. And I just think that Lamp as a character becoming an artist on New Witchington ground, it just kind of grounded everyone else's stories in reality. I'm running away. No, come back here. If you come back, I'll give you a kiss, Lan. Looking at Lamp. Hold on. And the meta. Get blue name Farid. Farid Freed. I know it's Frayed, but I had to keep mentally preparing myself to say Farid in like the last half of VCRAFT, so it's not going away immediately. Literal tears again. I'm running back. Okay, come here, Lan. Get over here. Get over here, Lanphilia of Aegis Link. I'll even take off my hood for this one. Get over here. Get over here. Na hoshi no da na 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 shake shake da na da da bum ba 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 bum ba ba da na na da 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 da. Tihi wa ai ni. As the mayor said before, Lamp carried so much of the emotional weight in that server. There was definitely emotional weight, and not in a bad way, right? But I think it's just Lamp added so much to everyone's story by just existing. Yuri Heaven is real? Heck yeah, it is. The letter was so touching. I loved it at the gallery. Yes! Oh my gosh, the artist statement and then the book at the end as well. That was by that painting with Nabubu, Clifford, and Vitruvius II. Oh my gosh. It felt so complete. Honestly, like me as a player was like, I wonder what I would have done if Lamp was not like an artist and did not have that gallery? What would I have done in like my last 2 days differently? You know? Because I think your story and how you spoke to other people helped me think about my own, you know, the story that I was writing too. It added very much. You guys like the braids? I feel like the little German boy now. I really do look like Labubu with the hoodie on. I don't mind it though. Hehehehe. Do whatever hairstyle we want. I can't imagine another path. I think everything, you know, everything turned out exactly as it would, you know? I am not... I don't think I could go back and change anything. Not for the world. The braids are adorable. You like the braids? I think it matches Minterva, so I don't mind keeping him on. The one and only 24 karat gold, my boo-boo. You have so many. That's the problem with being your own artist, guys. Hold on. I'll show you. Oh, and then there's actually 2 hairstyles that aren't on this model. Fun, isn't it? Every time someone referred to Japanese as German got me so confused as a German person. That was... I was confused at first too. Give yourself shark teeth with that hood and you're VTuber Labubu adjacent. I also have cat ears. I'm not a cat, but it's just so I can feel, you know... Just because I feel like it sometimes. So I can match my cat. Meow. Anyways, I'm getting distracted. Oh, whoa, I didn't realize that I had that still. I didn't realize my middle mouse button makes me take off my hair ribbons. Let me let me fix that. Okay, there we go. You like my art, Lan? Thank you. It's crazy that you're saying that though. Your art moved me so much emotionally. I also have glasses. And they have a nice little reflection on them. So if I want to look really academic... Here we go. There we go. But anyhow, back to, I guess, what we were talking about. I think those have to be some of my favorite VCRAFT characters, just like from an outsider perspective. And of course I'm biased and I love Boog because Boog is... Boog happens to also be my Oshi. And Sir Eve also happens to be my Oshi. And my friends. But I think Boog has so many quotable quotes. And I find myself still thinking like, Boog warning! Boog does not really give a boog. Oh my gosh, Boog has never had one of these before. I think that all the time. And Sir Eve is always like, Sir Eve will protect! With no T at the end, it's always protect. So I think, honestly, Minterva did not even get to talk to Boog or Sir Eve like super often. Just when we were building and stuff. But we didn't end up having, I guess Granny Minterva did not end up having very like deep, like life soul shaking conversation. But I think that I quite liked it that way because I, as the player, didn't want to feel like I was relying on my comfort zone and only like hiding behind my friends that I knew. This is me with grandma does not give a fig. I love replacing stuff with fig now. It's so funny. I really don't give a fig. Because for a split second there, you're like, oh my gosh, is she gonna curse? But I don't curse. And so I think it's quite funny to just replace everything with fig. No figging way. What the fig? Here's another great question. It's so figging funny. Boog does not really give a boog is so fire. I agree. My favorite one is still like when people talked about sandwiches and then Boog with like 29 sandwiches in his pockets goes like, oh my gosh, a sandwich? Boog has never had that before. Boog has never had this one before. Me if I gave a fig. What theme song would you give to your character based off of her vibes, personality, lore? Ooh. Low-key, I could think of a lot of Steven Universe songs for that, but I kind of think it's Rises the Moon. I think it's Rises the Moon. Let's see. Do an acapella. I'll go ahead and do acapella Rises the Moon, because I think this song would be very Granny Minterva, especially now that you guys know that she is immortal. Which, no, I did not just write that into the lore to give people more emotional damage. It was honestly because I was trying to think, you know, maybe I'll talk about that more after singing, but I decided on Granny Minterva being immortal and needing that closure, because I was thinking about her motivations for how she like acts in the town. You know, she's more than just an old woman. But yeah, my cat's also meowing. You want me to sing? Come here. Psst, psst. Meow. But yeah, Rises the Moon is a song that Kazu, a flower friend, longtime flower friend, recommended to me to learn to sing. And I found myself really loving the song, but I do think that it's very Granny Minterva, because she's very like, this too will come to pass. What? She's immortal? We'll get into that in just a moment. I'm not sure if anyone asked that specifically, but I'll get into that after the theme song. Days seem sometimes as if they'll never end. Sun digs its heels to haunt you. But after sunlit days, one thing stays the same. Rises the moon. Days fade into a watercolor blur. Memories swim and haunt you, but look into the lake, shimmering like smoke, rises the moon. Oh, close your weary eyes. I promise you that soon the autumn comes to darken fading summer skies. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Days pull you down just like a sinking ship. Floating is getting harder. But tread the water, child, and know that meanwhile rises the moon. Days pull you up just like a daffodil, uprooted from its garden. They'll tell you what you owe, but even so, rises the moon. You'll be visited by sleep. I promise you that soon the autumn comes to steal away each dream you keep. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Yeah. So if you listen to those lyrics, I think that that would be Granny Minterva's song. Honestly, I was just looking at it. I hadn't, honestly, this was just very much a knee-jerk response where I was like, it's probably Rises the Moon. That's Granny's song. But I thought about it, and I think it's so crazy that there's lyrics like memories swim and haunt you, but look into the lake. Because you guys know the seaside... Calvin was very clear about this, but the Seaside Cafe is actually on the edge of a very large lake because we do not have an ocean for a very, 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 very far while. Apparently, where we all decided to settle, the biggest body of water is just that lake. And so Seaside Cafe is technically Lakeside Cafe. But that just makes it extra beautiful. But memories swim and haunt you but look into the lake. It's so crazy because Granny Minterva, I, in my head, know for a fact that she has some memories that definitely haunt her. Because to me, as a writer, and I think to Minterva as well, immortality is a curse. You do not want to be immortal. You do not wish immortality on your worst enemy. Like, I think that immortality is a curse. Because there's nothing worse, in my opinion, than knowing that you will be stuck here after it all. Than knowing that you have no way of letting yourself free because you're just gonna, like, everything you care about and you're invested in is going to be more short-lived than you. And that hurts. That hurts me so bad. And so I believe that Granny Minterva never wanted to be immortal. She just made a very, 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 very unfortunate and crucial mistake. And those of you who didn't know that Granny Minterva was immortal, that was very intentional. I only ever mentioned it in RP, and I only ever mentioned it to Lamp and Calvin. Because I had a deep conversation with Lamp about it, and so it was appropriate to bring it up. And then with Calvin, it was because Calvin is gaining a lot of power to go look for Madeline. And so Granny Minterva, like, Grandma truly believes that he would be the perfect person because he will surely find magic that is strong enough to kill her. Immortality or prolonged life? I think that prolonged life is not as bad as immortality. Immortality, the idea is like you cannot die and pretty much nothing can kill you. And if you think about it, like, just like thematically as well, right? If you're alive forever, everything loses meaning. And I always thought about this, about immortal characters and whatnot. If someone's lived for a really, 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 really long time, if your brain is still pretty human, right? You're gonna start forgetting everything from many, many years ago. Like, you can only retain the most recent memories. Things are gonna start feeling really, really repetitive. Like, it becomes like a purgatory and like a personal hell. That's how I feel about immortality, at least from like a story standpoint. It's not great, right? It's not great for the... I wouldn't wish it upon my worst enemy. I wouldn't wish them to live forever because, like, ouch, you know? And so I think Granny, because of her younger years practicing as a witch, yeah, she messed up. She got in a really bad mix-up and has, you know, been cursed to be immortal. I will leave, you know, a lot of that to your imagination as well. If you become immortal, why would your brain remain human? So if you think about it, like, immortal characters in stories and writing and whatnot, do they suddenly start thinking differently? No, right? Do they experience emotion differently? No. They experience time differently. Like, technically time is passing at the same rate as everyone else, but because you have an infinite amount of it, suddenly everything else... Like, think about it, right? If in the grand scheme of things, everything eventually passes and everything eventually cycles and comes to an end, then what is keeping you caring about the people you're with in the moment? What keeps you enjoying the little things? The problem is Granny Minterva is someone that so deeply cares about the little things. Like the farmer's market, like the figs, like the smallest of interactions with people and the people in the village. She is someone that cares so much about this. And that's why I think it does really pain her. It really, really pains her because she'll be lonely. You know? if you're immortal, you'd have so many pictures and diary entries. At what point do you grow tired, right? How many years? How many hundreds and hundreds or thousands of years do you think you could go before you feel really tired of everything? I think I was testing that. Because my idea with Granny Minterva is that she has lived for a very long time, but not long enough to the point where she feels like things have lost meaning. I think that she's lived just long enough where she's like kind of on the cusp of, whew, wow, I'm starting to feel tired. You know? She is like, I'm starting to feel tired. And then New Witchington happens. New Witchington happens and it gets built from the ground up. She witnesses it and she's usually very scared of getting attached to anyone or anything or creatures. But she decides, you know what, like these people are so warm. Let us take a leap of faith. Let us enjoy this. Let us see what happens. And let's just be like sweet old granny for a while and let's see how this community is. It's just it's very much a leap of faith for her, which is kind of a parallel for, you know, me jumping into this as well. And as a result, she's discovered something more valuable than anything else to her. The community, the people, the love. And I think that solidifies her choice in, wow, I definitely want to die. Because she is scared. She's like, wow, if I'm experiencing all of this love, all of this beauty, everything that this community has to offer, and I'm going to live for thousands and thousands and thousands of years after all of this is gone, I'll be so gutted. She's like, I don't want to overwrite these memories. I don't want these to fade away. It's also a world where people come back from the dead, so she might not experience that loss. I think I was trying to think about it in terms of like, even if people in, you know, the Minecraft world more literally don't necessarily pass on, I do think we were under the assumption that a lot of our characters would still age naturally. And even with a village like that, like eventually, right? Give it enough years, people move out and it becomes a ghost town. That's the idea of being alive for that long. Like the places that you love, the restaurant, you know, the local tavern, the local bathhouse, the art gallery, like those things will not exist as long as you do if you're immortal. And that pains her. She does not want to see those, like, she is also selfish in a way. Yeah, exactly. Like in lore, you just kind of, I think the Minecraft dying and coming back thing, you just kind of have to allow that to be a thing. But I do believe from a story standpoint, you are allowed to suspend yourself in some disbelief and be like, okay, we don't have to have perfect continuity there with the functions of Minecraft. Yeah, how powerful to have a love so great that it makes you want to die to preserve that love instead of losing it to immortality. That is exactly the theme I was playing with. Because I thought about it. I didn't reveal the immortality until maybe the last 2 days, but I had been thinking about it for many days more than that. Like, I didn't know it the first day going into VCRAFT. I just thought maybe she was like lived longer, like a longer lived lifespan. But I thought about it and I was like, what would give Granny Minterva, like what would give her story in New Witchington real weight to me? What would give Granny Minterva's story? Because the thing is, if she was human, she would pass away naturally anyways, right? And if you think about that, then, you know, she's already super old if she was human. But I think that the natural course of life is a beautiful thing, and it can be thematically a very beautiful and powerful writing tool. You know, I think that death not always being played for jokes is good. There's a balance. So yeah. You know, if you use the backup, you could recreate the ghost town idea. If I was evil, I could recreate the ghost town idea, like in an AU. Okay, but I do think that Calvin himself even mentioned it, or Calyx mentioned it, that Calvin would actually indulge. I didn't know that his mom was immortal, an immortal witch. I did not know that. So Madeline, Calvin's mom, or like creator, she is an immortal witch, but she actually traded her heart. Like, she traded it away because she wanted the immortality. She wanted the everlasting youth. As far as I know, I could be missing some pieces. Please go ahead and watch, you know, his development stream and character analysis, because it's really good. But I did not know that. And so the fact that Granny is someone who did not want to be immortal, became immortal because it's a punishment for a grave mistake, and then as a result, she has to live with the punishment and she wants to find an out. That's kind of crazy. That was not intentional. That was kind of just a beautiful coincidence. I pulled out the immortality plot because I think it adds to the weight of the love that she is experiencing. You know, the fact that she has some painful memories and that she purposely does not want to involve herself too closely with the youngins or the community. It's like the fact that she's finally becoming part of New Witchington as like the first community she's in a very, very, very long time. It adds a lot of weight to the fact that she got to experience so much love and so much generosity and so much kindness and so many supportive and lovely people. Like, I think that she felt that warmth really deeply and it impacted her in a very, very deep way. And I do think that that is the most that's like the most beautiful thing that I can do with her story, honestly. Okay, let's see. Next question. This is a great question. I'm seeing another question that is making me wonder who sent it. Hold on, I'll show you guys in a moment. Next question, guys. Next question. Okay. This one. Are there any other characters you wish Granny Mint would have interacted with more? Yes. Yes, however, I am not bothered by the fact that they did not interact more, if you know what I mean. Because I, as the player, and also as the human being that has to do things outside of that had to do things outside of the hours in Minecraft, I know that I did the most I could to like balance building something I really wanted to finish, such as like the farmer's market, with everyone's help. I had a balance between like solo Minecrafting and then involving myself with the community and other people. And so I don't want to feel remorseful of not being able to interact with certain characters. Although if I had a choice, I think if we had a bit more time, Granny would have wanted to talk more to Zealand before he left. Obviously, she did not know that he was going to leave, but every time they did talk, it was very sweet, you know? Because I think they both cared a lot about just the community. They were both, Granny was a little more removed from the conflict that was facing the town, because she, you know, even though she hasn't completely become apathetic, she has kind of reached that point where she's like, this too will come to pass, because she's lived for so long. And in her head, she's like, this is just what being part of a society turns into sometimes, especially when there's power and magic involved. And she sees Vitruvius II as a very young individual. So she's like, he's going through his angsty teenage phase. That's her take. And I'm gonna be so honest, Granny never saw Vitruvius II as an actual threat because she didn't witness it. I, the player, never got to fully be online for when Vitruvius actually wreaked havoc on everyone. Vitruvius did not get to kill Granny after the court case because Granny heard an explosion in the distance and then immediately warped home to go to sleep. Granny Minterva was like, oh wow, what a nice long court case. I better go to bed. Here's a distant explosion. Oh, the kids are fighting. I better tuck in. Because honestly, that night I needed to go. And so... and so I went to bed. And then I come back the next day and everyone is like, Vitruvius II, da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, oh, really now? And apparently, I saw this through other people's POVs and clips. Apparently, there was another crash out where he like exploded a huge hole and was like, witness my newest spell, my newest power. And he was like talking about how they're going to go against L, but it really freaked out the townspeople because he did kill some of them. And also like poor Miss Eileen had her broom like destroyed for the 4th time. Unintentionally, of course. Unintentionally, whenever there's those big displays of explosion, whenever there's collateral damage, it's not intentional. But it's like literally like Granny napped through that. Granny actually napped through it physically. But the thing is, you know how nothing is ever as serious when you don't get to witness it firsthand? I was kind of like that with Granny, where people would be like, oh, Vitruvius this or that, and then I'm, you know, I as Granny, who's lived so long, and honestly, all Granny has seen from Vitruvius directly is just like, you know, he's figuring himself out. He's trying to usurp his father's power. And he honestly is just like courteous. And so like, I don't know. He was sweet. I think everything I saw of him was like very courteous. And so I didn't know what on earth was going on. And I think the only time we truly spoke was, and he talked about this in the letter to Granny. I think I did share it, and I would highly recommend taking a peek at it when you get the chance. Over here, I did share it because he did write a really heartfelt letter. But honestly, everything... Vitruvius came before the farmer's market was even open, and he was like, I wanted to check it out before anyone else was here. He was really, really sweet. He offered to pay for the wares. Granny is just like, this is just a nice boy who's going through something. I think that was Granny Minterva's very skewed perspective of Vitruvius. Because now me seeing things in post and like seeing stuff afterwards, I understand Vitruvius's character kind of being like I guess, like the catalyst for a lot of intense events, and I can see Vitruvius being like, you know, upsetting townspeople in character, you know? But as Granny, it's just kind of like, oh yeah, I heard that you got kind of angry the other day and hurt some people, but like they came back. So, I think it's very interesting and almost very indicative of real life, right? Where the side that you see of people is the side that you will believe. You know? It's kind of like, not to say that people truly have sides to them, but sometimes you meet someone and they're really, really sweet to you, but maybe they're not always like that all the time. Like maybe they secretly, or they like have a temper that they keep quietly on the side, but it doesn't come out unless certain buttons are pushed, and vice versa. Like, I just thought it was interesting how when I was playing VCRAFT and I was avoiding spoilers, I genuinely thought Vitruvius was kind of chill. Like in and out of character. I was like, here's the wizard doing wizardy things. Like he's just trying to become really powerful so he can go and, you know, figure out the dad problems. But people are multifaceted. And I think that out of character, I can greatly respect Vox's dedication to acting a character that would potentially cause much friction, right? Like in character, Vitruvius, he was not afraid of throwing himself out there and becoming like brash and like exploding things. Because a lot of times, even if you're role-playing, right? Some people don't want to put themselves out there, or they don't want to risk anything. But Vitruvius II is a character that by default, their actions are risky. You do stuff that is explosive, you plot, you know, you plot something, you act very, very angry. But honestly, that's why I think there was a time where I was typing in the Minecraft chat to Vitruvius, because I hadn't seen him for like days, and then he was talking about like how upset he was, and he was like, the time for talking is over. And I was like, why? Because at the time, Granny was just very much, I don't know. She was like, who is this sweet youngin' who seems a little, you know, he's got complicated things going on. But yeah, I think acting bold and also acting in a way that you know could upset people, even if the, you know, upsetting people, quote unquote, like it's all acting, right? But it is a choice, and it is a difficult, it can be a difficult thing to act a character like that. Alrighty. Other characters I wish to interact with more, besides Vitruvius and Zealand. I feel like I didn't get to talk to oh my gosh, I'm suddenly forgetting the character's name. I didn't got to talk to Bluebell that much. We only got to chat like on a very relaxing day with Sir Eve at their spa. But the thing is, if there were more days, Granny wanted to book a spa appointment. Granny was gonna go get a in Minecraft back massage, but then ended up RP maxing for like the last 2 days, and you know, there's the farmer's market, and then the last 2 days were full of emotionally charged conversations with various individuals, and so I never got my massage. But I was actually going to go to the spa again. I'll go and visit it again offline. I really liked it. It's a gorgeous build. So comfy. But, you know, I think I did interact a decent amount with quite a few people, even if briefly. I think I didn't run into Rosie as much as I would have liked either. She was so sweet and adorable at the wedding, and also the fact that she had like her cute bakery. Of course, I love that. Breadwinner too. I saw Breadwinner when he was building the machine, but I don't think I ever got to tell Breadwinner just how cool I thought his like automatic vending machine was. But yeah, those are just very, very few. To name very few. If I could, I would interact with everyone more and more and more and more, because I'm insatiable. I just want to keep talking with everyone forever. But I know that that's, you know, I know that that's not as easy. But I know that we will, you know, I know that we will talk again, and that we'll have chances to talk again. So I don't doubt that that'll happen. You know, if everyone wants to make it happen, we can make anything happen. Imp 2. Yes, I did mention, I think I mentioned that I didn't get to talk to Imp enough, like, in another stream, either yesterday or the day before. Imp is really, really sweet, and I liked that. I think a lot of the times I did pass Imp, but they were, like, grinding on a build, so I don't... And I was on my way somewhere else, and so we were kind of neighbors, but Imp's circus was such a blessing. Because I think it was a very beautiful, it was gorgeous, it was a very ambitious build, and the music is what I listened to every single night before sleeping. Before Granny went to sleep, every time in New Witchington. That really sweet music box music. Honestly, for the earlier question about like a song or a theme, I would also make that Granny song or theme. That exact music that I would hear from my room. I did get to talk to Imp a little bit at the very towards the end, when I got to play around in the circus a little. Although I would like to go more to the circus. I want to go on there again. Yeah, and I also was not... I think there were a lot of nights where Granny had to sleep earlier than when it was like prime pranking time, if you know what I mean. Because people tend to be on, you know, people tend to wake and sleep at different times, much like with real life. So it's just the nature of things. And I also think... I also wish I could have spoken to Money Weather turned Magic Weather a little more too, because he was so sweet. He was so sweet, but we really only spoke on like the last day. Pretty much we only got to interact on the last day, and then I wished him a tearful goodbye, but like he's so sweet. So sweet, and I could see how much he loved everyone in the village and loved his time in New Witchington. So it would have been fun to like sit down for a chat too, but you know, there's... I believe that stuff like that, you know, certainly more to come, right? I had a lot of fun watching the Mage Arena collab between some of the the mages and the Knights of Ours from New Witchington. In-character gaming collab after VCRAFT Enchanted goes so hard. And I was just sitting back with some popcorn and enjoying different POVs. Oh my gosh. It was so silly. So many silly moments. I think I count those as like AUs or OVAs, but it like gives people a little bit more of the characters collabing together, and that is so lighthearted and fun to me. Give me that slice of life episode. Dun, dun, dun. Let's see, we got some more Maros here. It was really silly. It was. The perfect game for them. It looks fun, but also that game like cares about accents. But then you have like Nana and Leo and Vox in there with Australian and British accents, and they're like, what? I have to say fireball now. I have to say fireball because the American accent is required. Next Major Arena Granny, I would die really fast. I don't understand how that game is played. It seems really fun though. What about the beach episode? We technically did have a beach episode. At the end of, it's in VCRAFT Enchanted. I think my POV is the final hours. We had a beach episode where we were partially OOC, and I got to get zapped by Calvin's lightning because he was really excited about showing off the spell he didn't get to use enough. So we all went on the beach and we were punching each other and getting zapped by lightning, and it was really fun. There's some accent support if you click, but it's difficult. I did see Vox pull up the look at this. It says British has been, like the British mode was disabled because it didn't work for anyone. That is so crazy. That's why sort of speech to command stuff is kind of hard. I have a question about this next question. Who asked this? Who asked this? Who is Granny Mint's favorite grandson, Malum or Calvin? I'm not answering that. What the heck? Granny would never answer that. Granny would never pick favorites. And yes, Granny had separate and different conversations with each of them, but Granny also really enjoyed time with both of them. And who are you to ask? Like, why would you ask a parent their favorite child? Like, do you know how messed up that is? What are you trying to get out of me? You know? There's no right answer here. No right answer. Evil, evil, evil. Grandma does not have a favorite grandson. Grandma just really likes her grandsons, plural, okay? Scandalous. Granny is not taking the bait. It couldn't have been Calvin. I think if you're trying to count time on the clock, I might have spent more time with Calvin, but Malum had to take a long nap. So I don't think that wouldn't affect Granny Minterva's view of any of them. You know? I think it's tough though because Malum lost his memories, and new Malum does not have the same memories as old Malum. And VTuber Malum, if you're watching this, I did see what you said on your stream. I was making a joke. I was making a joke how I miss how I miss VCRAFT Enchanted Malum compared to VTuber Malum, because I guess for context, I have a mod badge in Malum's chat now, you know. But then I accidentally hid someone on his channel. Like it's like a misclick ban. I was just trying to chat on mobile, okay? I was trying to chat on mobile, but in his unarchived stream, I clicked on someone's name on accident and I hid the user from his channel. I unhid them though. I unhid them. I'm very, very sorry, by the way. I will not do it again. I've learned my lesson. But I misclicked it because I opened it and then I freaked out, but I accidentally clicked hide user on this channel. I undid it. And then Malum was like, haha, that's so, like, how embarrassing. He was like, that would have been so embarrassing if that were me. that accidentally hid someone on a channel, but it wasn't me. It was someone else, so it's fine. And I was like, wow, wow. That's why I was joking that I missed VCRAFT Malum. And then he said, and actually my stream buffered at this moment, but he said, VCRAFT Malum doesn't remember Granny anyways. I was like, damn, that is a low blow. That is a low blow. How could you hurt me like this? How could You're pretty sure he's done that before? Ah! What? What? But yeah, he was being so evil because I guess the current Malum has lost his memories. So you're saying the favorite grandson might be Calvin? No, 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 no. I didn't say that. I'm just saying that both Calvin and Malum are very, very special to Granny. Different ways. And Malum has lost his memory, but that I think Granny has a hard time, like, I guess, wrapping her head around that. You know? Yeah, he's so evil, sick and twisted. After all that time I spent making sure the cafe was back up too. No, I'm kidding. I was doing that secretly. I did that for nothing in return, but because it was that important of a place to Granny. Yeah. But Granny cannot have a favorite, so do not ask. Granny would never say such a thing, you know? She would never do that. She would never be like, I like this grandson more than that. How can I? How can you do that? How could you have the gall to ask such a question? You sicken me. Oh. What made you want to roleplay as Granny? I think it's I did gloss over this earlier. It's just like if I was roleplaying an older character, I would be more comfortable saying whatever I wanted and being like, oh, it's just old grandma things. I would be more comfortable RPing. When Malum asked who, Malum did ask who who fixed the cafe, and Granny was like, I have no idea. New Malum forgot, but Granny still remembers old Malum. You know, but new Malum is the one that saw the fixed cafe and felt some way about it. So I think Granny believes that old Malum is still in there a little bit somewhere. She sees that, and also they have plenty of time to make new memories too. You know? It's not like his personality changed. I think Malum post-memory loss was equally gentle and kind. But yeah. V Malum, that is. Real Malum wants to play horror games, so... I don't know about the horror game. Sorry about that, Shun. Maybe. I'm too scared. I'm actually too scared. So bad with horror. This is another great question though. How did you think of the name Minterva? Minerva is a very witchy game. It's a very witchy name. I almost just said game. Minerva is a witchy sort of medieval sounding name. I don't know what the actual origin is for the name Minerva, but you know, I did want to fold my name into it a little bit, so Minterva it is. Minerva, but with me, Minterva. New Malum still had the emotional attachment of old Malum, which is kind of cute. Right? I think it's sweet. I don't think that old Malum is gone. I mean, it's tough to say, because only those that made the character can really say, but I believe... Yeah, I believe in, you know, New Malum having the feelings but not the memories. So it's like, you just don't know. Where the story left off, you just have to assume that they go on to make more merry memories, you know? A Roman goddess. Oh, yeah? Let me look it up, actually. Oh, snap! This is actually crazy. Minerva is the Roman goddess of, according to Wikipedia, the Roman goddess of wisdom, justice, law, victory, and the sponsor of arts, trade, and strategy. She is a goddess of warfare, though focused on strategic warfare rather than violence. What? Okay, maybe not thematically on the point, but reading wisdom, justice is kind of crazy. The name Minerva stems from Proto-Italic menes, or intelligent and understanding. Ooh. And ultimately from Proto-Indo-European menos, which means thought. I do like that, actually. That was not intended. That was not intended. I just thought Minerva was a nice name that I could put mint into, but you know what? Maybe I will say that it was intended, because that is that's beautiful. Athena. Oh, the Roman version of Greece, Athena. Oh, that's kind of cool. I like that. I kind of want to draw more art of young Granny Minterva because I think I can make her look really cool. And show what she might have looked like in her younger years before her comfy granny mode. I think she would actually have a very different outfit. Like prior to the immortality curse and becoming cozy. But let's see. Right here we got another Maro. Hello Baker Oshi, have you recovered your sleep schedule since VCRAFT Enchanted? I have. I have actually been sleeping around midnight to 1 a.m. and then waking up like between 7 and 9 a.m. Yeah. But I think waking up at 8 is like my normal these days. I think I bounced back pretty quickly. I just needed like maybe 1 or 2 days to fully adjust. But it was good. But let's see. With how active things are lately, I hope you've been taking care of yourself properly and taking proper mental breaks. Yes, I'm doing my best to, you know, balance things out. I think it's been good. Honestly, I am going to touch grass literally tomorrow and like next week. So I'm gonna see like my parents. I'm going to go out and, you know, take a hike. And I'm pretty excited because it's been a really long time since I've been that surrounded by nature. So I'm looking forward to it, especially after 2 weeks of VCRAFT. It's like a reward. It is a reward. I will miss you guys, but I will post some fun photos if I can. It's not weird to bring the anime girl Standy out into the wilderness, right? I'll try and, you know, share some stuff with you guys. Or just, you know, say hi. I will tweet and just say hi. But yeah. Also, I would like to know more about what you think about the headcanon ending I wrote for Grandma Minterva. It's my first time ever writing anything story-like. Ooh, I know who this is from. I know who this is. My oh my. Thank you. Thank you for your beautiful writing. I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it and have your fan art pulled up. I did want to go over this. This is also the art for the thumbnail today. If you did not know. Flower Friend, my oh my, drew something really, really beautiful. And I want you guys to look at it because this, they wrote their own headcanon ending for how Minterva's death would go. Because her death was something she specifically requested, right? Here it is. Here's the art. My oh my mention. Yes, my oh my mention. Let me see. I want to make my hair short so it's like out of the way of the drawing. Here it is. I'm gonna go ahead and read what was written here now. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba. Okay. The writing goes like so. Here's how her death went in this headcanon, and I want to share it because I do think that it's how I imagine Granny Minterva would have wanted it to go. Anyways. Wow, welcome home! Okaeri! Welcome home, welcome in. Okay. I'm gonna be reading now. At the end of a rune where there he stood, staring at the old remain of a powerful witch. He recognized that grimoire, there's no mistaking it. He let out a long sigh as he noticed a ripped page of the thick spellbook. There lies a powerful spell with a note saying, "In the eyes of mortals, this is an evil spell that rips the soul of a being. But to us powerful and lonely, it is a spell that means freedom. I trust that you found your humanity in your travels, Calvin. I'm sorry." He pulls out a waystone out of his backpack. Maybe it's time for his annual visit. He appeared in the familiar golden-colored tree with its bright yellow leaves falling like snow. It's autumn, perfect time for a freshly made jam. Inside the familiar cabin sat an even more familiar old woman waiting for her jams to boil. As the door opened, she immediately knew. Calvin visits at random times in the year, but somehow she gives him a stare that says she's been expecting him. As she stares more deeply at his expression, she caught something. Old Minterva lets out a sigh with the crease of her wrinkly lips and simply said, "Is it time?" In truth, throughout the decades, Calvin already learned and discovered magics that could kill immortals and all kinds alike, but they always made for a painful death or to slay an evil being. She didn't deserve that. Calvin takes the ladle for the jam and helps the old lady cook. With how much they've done this, they can prepare it with their eyes closed. They usually move like clockwork, but this time, the mage seems lax. Minterva stares at his hand, shaking as he holds the ladle. She gently takes it and gives him a reassuring smile. They finish packing all the fig jam, but this time there's only 2 crates of them rather than the usual 3. In front of the fig tree, they sat with the excess jam in hand. They caught up with each other, told stories, explained their emotions, reminisced, laughed. She stared at his deep blue eyes, and without saying a word, he knew. Minterva drank the last of her youth potion and laid back in the very spot that she sat, with flowers that she planted specifically for this exact moment. After she closes her eyes, he touches her cheek, and with the second there it is, fragments of her soul slowly being extracted. Her soul felt hefty at the top of his hand, warm too, much alike the jam he's grown fond of. In the moment he's cradling her soul, then within the next it's gone, evaporated into thin air. He didn't feel the need to exclaim his emotions or let out a tear. He just sat close to her. And at the end of the day, there would always be figs. Isn't that beautiful? Just let that sink in, everyone. Let that sink in. Oh my gosh. I thought it was quite beautiful. So thank you very much, Mai, for writing a headcanon for Minterva's death. Because honestly, when I made her original character profile, the lore behind her chugging youth potions, it was supposed to be an excuse for me to drop the granny voice if I ever felt my voice getting very strained from it. However, I never really needed to, I realized. However, the other part of the lore that I thought of to make it make sense as well, to make my voice changing make sense if I needed to not strain my vocal cords, was that Granny Minterva, she has a certain vanity. Like, she's not very vain, but she is a little vain. I think that she would have been like... She would have been proud of her wrinkles, but they also don't really mean anything to her, because she's immortal. And she can change her appearance with something as easy as a potion. So, to her, she felt like the wrinkles... She's just like... They don't mean as much to her as to someone that has a set lifespan, or like a limited lifespan. She doesn't feel like she's earned those wrinkles, you know? However, at the same time, her slight bit of vanity, she would have wanted to go in style, put on some sunglasses at the end. I think she would have liked to do that. I don't know, I thought it was really sweet, and I think, yeah, back pain relief potion. Exactly. Not that it has to be a youth potion. You locking in at the campfire speech from being in tears back to being grandma made me laugh so hard. Really? Oh my gosh. I think in the moment I was just panicking because I guess you interact with people on the server, but you never realize how many people you haven't spoken to as well. And so I felt so nervous, the fact that the first time I'd say a lot of things would just be like a blubbering mess in front of everyone. But yeah, that was really beautiful. Thank you, Mai. If you guys want to go and read it yourselves, it's over here. I got it. I also really like how Mai draws Minterva because he adds a tooth gap, just like of his own volition. And I think that that's really sweet. She does not have to have one, but I think it's very charming. As an artist, tooth gaps are so cute. Let's see, I'll drink some more water. Let's see. Hello, Baker Oshi. Oh wait, no, this is not. This is the wrong. This is the wrong one. Oh, these are different. Oopsies. I think it's just the same thing twice. My bad. Here we go. Q&A's been good. Oh, hope the Q&A has been good. It has been good. It's comfy. It's fun to talk about VCRAFT and answer some Minterva specific questions, I guess. Let's see. When you came up with the idea of the farmer's market, did you have an idea before handing on the design, or did you just come up with it ad hoc on the spot as you started to make it? I came up with it on the spot. Even if I look up reference pictures of what stalls look like, if you like look online, there's nothing that quite looks like my farmer's market. All I searched up was, I did search up like Minecraft, like stall. I forgot exactly, or like Minecraft, you know, like a little store. I just looked at a bunch of different photos, but I never actually use them for building. I've never been able to replicate a build very well anyways. So I'm someone that believes in like trial and error. So I'm very proud with how the stalls turned out, and Lan helped add so much to it, and Sir Eve helped add so much to it. I think they were the ones primarily physically building the stalls with me. And for that, I'm very, very grateful. And it was Lexus's idea to do the sort of gingham, like, on the top. And I thought that that idea with the wool came out looking so cute, and I will use that technique in the future. Like, gingham flooring, gingham out anything, I just love it. With, like, the lighter and the darker color of wool with the white wool. It looked really cute, and I'm super proud of it. So, yeah! Extra happy with how that turned out. So, I guess to answer the question, it was all made up. It was just built, it came together on the spot, which is what makes it so magical. And the other reason why it always makes me feel a little emotional when people tell me how much they enjoyed the farmer's market specifically is, I was very nervous. Super, super nervous to do anything of that kind, an event, when I didn't know too many people too well. I didn't want to expect people to come or be that excited about it. So me, outside of Granny, just felt really proud and shy and happy, but I'm glad people liked the idea and found it very cozy and had fun. Did Granny try the gacha machines? I did! Brock Lee built, well, found a lucky gacha machine. And so I did spin, and all I got was a piece of paper that said stop gambling. So there's my answer for that one. It was so cute. Thank you. I was so happy and proud of you. It turned out so great and fun for everyone. I felt like that was my, that was Granny Minterva's personal moment, if that makes sense. The farmer's market would not have been literally possible without everyone's help. I just want to reiterate that again. But I think, like, story-wise, Granny Minterva's market, like, that was kind of... that was her moment of being like, let me give back to the town all of the love and the warmth that they have given me. Like, let me, you know, the old granny of the town, like, just really give back to the village. And so that was her personal moment, and I know a lot of moments with Granny was also with other characters that I treasured deeply. But the farmer's market was definitely something that I was proud of, that Granny was super proud of and happy with, and that I was also like, whoa, no way, how did this come together? Because I'm not even very experienced in Minecraft or Minecraft building. So thank you everyone for your help again. It was very much a community effort, but I felt so shy, like kind of proposing it in the Minecord for the first time anyways, but people were really sweet and they're like, oh my gosh, that would be so nice. I think, you know, I also had an idea to like have a stall or whatnot, and it was wonderful. It was beautiful. And I love that they bid on a painting of Farid and Shu. There was that painting and people went crazy bidding on it. Netherite armor and diamond blocks. So funny to me. So wonderful. But yeah, the farmer's market was much needed calm and whimsy. Exactly. I wanted to bring something very whimsical and sweet and cute and comfy, because it's like the chaos, I guess, the chaos that was happening. It's not like all of the characters in the village were directly involved and people could choose to not involve themselves, right? In that whole storyline. Very much a choice, but I think I just was like, let's have another fun thing that can coexist, you know? The timing was honestly crazy. Like the tension, I could cut the tension with a knife. It was so cool though. It was so cool. Yeah. Let's see. Will Minterva reappear again? This is another great question. Obviously, group RP is hard to arrange and plan. True. But do you have any plans on trying something for a one-off solo stream? I could. I think inspired by Vitruvius II, actually. If I was to have Granny Minterva back for anything, it would probably be something where she, like, writes letters to people as well. I think it would be something where I wrote letters, you know, to close out that chapter. But instead of letters, I want it to be like, I want to draw a jam jar and then I'll, like, write a note on the label. You know? But then I feel bad because I do feel like some of them would end up being shorter and some of them would end up being longer. But I do think it would be kind of sweet if I wrote it on physical paper and then I like scanned it and then like digitally edit it onto a jam jar, I guess. Or I could use a real jam jar, but I hate to break it to you guys, I'm so slow at eating jam. I personally, when it comes to food in general, I'm a very savory food person. When I want toast in the morning, I mash up an avocado if I have avocados and I put it on toast. And then I sprinkle everything bagel seasoning on it and I have like salty avocado toast. Or I get like a bagel and I'll like put cream cheese on it. Like I'm a very salty food person. So I eat, whenever I buy jam from the store, it takes me forever to get through the jam because first thing in the morning, I kind of have a hard time eating something sweet the first thing in the morning. Unless it's ice cream. I've had vanilla ice cream for breakfast before. Not that you can count it as a breakfast, but I'm like, it's like drinking a glass of milk in the morning. That sounds so good. Love avocado toast. It's like super easy to make. Just make toast and then mash avocado onto it and everything but the bagel seasoning. Go, go, go. But yeah, I feel like I could kin assign everyone a jam type, but the whole point of Granny is like they need to be fig. They're all fig jam, even the ones that are labeled carrot jam. I told Calvin this. I was like, I'll tell you a trick. It's just the jars and the labels are different. Everything has figs as a base. Because if you think about it, I think figs can be used as a sweetener anyway. So like, yes, you can have carrot jam, but then you can add figs in it anyway. There's figs in everything. No one told me they were allergic to figs. No one's allergic to figs. So I have to say one of the sweetest small things that Zealand did actually was when we were making the nut butter sandwiches to help with the big fight. One person came by and was like, I'm allergic to peanuts. And he was like, oh, okay, are you allergic to acorns? And they were like, no. And he made all of the nut butter sandwiches with acorns. Like, is that not beautiful? That is so in character, and it's like, it's just wonderful. It's wonderful. It's fantastic. But yeah, I think if Minterva was to reappear, it would be for something like that. Oh my goodness, I reloaded and I have a lot more questions. Thank you guys for all your questions. Let me clear out the ones I already read. And he actually did. That was so sweet. I wasn't watching his POV, but I fully believed him because I was like, I feel like you would commit to the RP like that. You wouldn't just mix in, you wouldn't cross-contaminate, you wouldn't just mix in a peanut one. That's so sweet. Right? So wholesome. It's just that it's the small things like that. And it's not even just that one instance. So imagine that sort of energy, but coming from multiple people. That's VCRAFT Enchanted. That's what made it so like tender and special. Because that's everyone. It's not just one person that's putting out that care and energy for everyone else. It's everyone. And isn't that beautiful? But let's see, we got another question. Hey, a question related to Miss Mintmai herself. Ooh, a question for me? For me? I'm kidding. But may I ask what the inspiration for your model was? I feel like it's so unique and cuteful. Oh! I'm so weak to this, guys. I'm so weak. I'm so weak to this kind of question and compliment. I just want to say thank you, first of all, for liking it. As someone that became a self-taught anime artist, and self-taught like VTuber model artist, it means a lot to me. I did make most of my own designs. Some of the outfits are not me, but all of those credits are on my website very clearly. But I think my goal was just to make something that was really me, because it is literally me, but I wanted to make something that felt super authentic to myself. And I guess I just was thinking about the warm, cozy, and like fluffy aesthetics that I like. My original baker uniform will always be my OG design, and I like that it's simple. It is easy to draw, it is simple, and I don't think I've seen anything that looks quite like it. It is a maid outfit, but it's its own thing. And my hairstyle, my classic hairstyle, it's cause growing up I really liked... I like mochi donuts, the ones that you eat, but I also like Nurse Joy. But growing up I love pondering. If you guys know Mr. Donut, I really like pondering from Mr. Donut. As a kid, when traveling, there would be Mr. Donut when I was visiting family overseas, and it was very, very yummy. But yeah, I think my genuine inspirations though just come from like real fashion and styles that I like. Even when I commission outfits, I send them photos. Like I make mood boards of references for the kind of style I'm going for. Because sometimes it's nice to pick someone else's designer brain when it comes to clothing. But when it comes to my own designs, it just needs to be something that I find relatively easy to draw. It needs to be drawable. It needs to be memorable for me. Silhouette matters. Accessories matter, but not too cluttered. Because again, the artist in me is like, I want to be able to draw this from memory. I guess it's a combination of all of those things, yeah. And because I'm a baker VTuber, of course, my accessories are just full of bread. Every single outfit has a pretzel at least somewhere on the outfit, and every single outfit has a flower friend somewhere in the accessories as well. I think there's only one outfit, my casual one, where the pretzel is hidden behind a toggle. Because I have two different shirts technically for my casual outfit, so the pretzel is hidden behind a toggle I don't use as much. I felt so grateful for that as an artist. I feel like the VTubing meta is kind of like designs get more complex over time because everyone's trying to be more unique. And if you add more details, then yes, technically things become more differentiable. But honestly, I do think most VTubers, their designs can still be simplified and still be very Very unique. I mean, I drew Minterva really fast. I did not think that people were going to draw Minterva. I designed her so fast. I drew her like the morning of... the morning I posted that drawing, I drew that in like an hour. Both the old and youth potion version. I was trying to make like alternate cottagecore universe Mintmai with a little extra magic, and I like pointy ears, so she has pointy ears. And I like fluffy braids, so she has fluffy braids. And I like thick eyebrows, so she has thick eyebrows. And because I have my own heart ahoge, I wanted to reference that by having the hat curve into the little heart, because it's cute. It's very me. So that way she would be a character that was like derivative of me while also being her own thing. The plushie and chibi test is underrated. Exactly. I should be able to draw a character and recognize them if they were Nui, you know? And nothing against people that really like all-out decked accessories for your VTuber. That is totally, you know, I think you should you should look however you want, and you're beautiful. But I will say, as an artist myself, I want me to be easy to draw. But yeah, bread, pretzels. Maids, because I like maid outfits a lot. Nurse outfit, because I like nurse outfits a lot. Okay, let's see. Next couple questions. I just realized. Rai said she looked in the mirror and her cuteness became the biggest inspiration. What? Ah, shucks. You don't mean that. Pretzel will always remind me of you forever. You guys are so sweet. But let's see. Hi, Mai. I was wondering if you have any requests on who I should animate Granny with for the VCRAFT anime opening. What? You what? You what? You're what? VCRAFT anime opening? Wait, I might have seen some whispers about this. I don't know exactly who sent this, but you might be the person that drew Lanphilia, like, very beautifully. You drew Lamp very beautifully. Ooh, that's so hard. Ooh. I feel like Granny had the most deep... Oh gosh. Granny as a character had the most in-depth conversations and the most, like, deep, soul-wrenching life conversations with Calvin, Lamp, but Malum was also a great source of comfort. And so I'm very soft. I have a soft spot for fan art of Granny with her two grandsons too. If Lamp is already in a separate scene, there's that too. I feel like Lamp should be with Mr. Zealand. Or just like surrounded by art and beauty and love. But Granny, I think Minterva alone is very, very connected to those characters. I'm also personally a bit biased for Boog and Eve, Sir Eve, because they took a lot of care of me. I think Sir Eve and Boog together did a lot of adventuring and building. Like the Church of Chat, like everyone in the Church of Chat together is also appropriate. Animating is a lot of work. I too understand very deeply how much work this is. So if you're taking on a project this great, please let us know when it is done. Do not rush yourself though. But trust me when I say that everyone will be so excited about this. Praise chat! Praise chat! LOL. Oh, mega lol. Did you see that Shu released the lyrics for the Hymn of Chat? Apparently he made it in 30 minutes. I did not know that. I just like heard that music coming from his mic sometimes. Where is it? Here. I'll play it and sing along. LOL. You guys can hear this, right? LOL. Omega lol. I'm gonna pull this up so you guys can see it. The Hymn of Chat is kind of a banger. It is a banger. Shu's mind is huge. Shu's brain so big. Here are the lyrics. Also, like, listen carefully because they are all there. The lyrics are all there. Okay, here it is. I'm getting distracted, but I'm gonna put this here. We're gonna just take a Church of Chat song break. Hymn of Chat break. LOL. Omega lol. Omega lol. Oh, oops, I paused it. Let me turn up the volume. LOL. Omega lol. Kek W skibbity omega lol. The fact that it actually has the right... It has the right tunes. I don't know what a pag sphere is, by the way. Lamau ASDFJKL semicolon. Can I say the first time I saw this video, I thought that he wasn't reading the ASDFJ, like I wasn't listening close enough, and I just heard the Lamau, and I thought he was just kind of like the keyboard smash was just expressing it, but no, he goes ASDFJK. I have to listen to that again. That's my favorite line. Lamau. Why can he really belt it? SDFJKL semicolon. The choir of angels. Joy emoji. That's gorgeous. That's fantastic. It's beautiful. Listen. It's so crazy. It's so peak. It's so beautiful. Shu, your genius will not be underrated. We will continue to sing the hymn of chat forever. What is this called? It's the hymn of chat. It became something in VCRAFT Enchanted. It was a... Here, I'll link it to everyone. Vocals though, he actually popped off. He popped off. Slay. So good. I love it. But yes, I quite really enjoyed being with the, you know, Granny enjoyed her time with the Church of Chat as well, because I think they really helped her and also me like settle into the new world, honestly. I can't believe we got this as Shu's first self-made Ori song. Is it not amazing? That is like peak original song. Lamau ASDFJKL semicolon. Anywho, next question. Thank you very much for the Maros so far. Let's see. If Calvin's figs hadn't changed the trajectory of Granny's life. So dramatic. Amazing. Would she still have tried to pursue being a potion witch? I don't know. I don't know. To answer you very honestly, OOC, I hate going to the Nether. OOC, I absolutely despise the fact that the Nether in Minecraft is even necessary to get certain things that I want in the overworld. I absolutely despise the Nether. I find never in a single player Minecraft world have I ever even built a Nether portal or gone to the Nether or the end, for that matter of fact. I cannot. If I do not need to go to the Nether, I will never ever touch a Nether portal. However, I'll only brave it if I'm there with friends, and that day Sir Eve thankfully was there. And to make potions, you need blaze rods, and you need lots of them because you need the blaze powder. And so I literally I put in so much effort, and I died so much, and I got 4 blaze rods. 4! And with that measly amount, I was able to make a brewing stand, and I made 1 potion, and then I was like, wow, this is not going to work. But it was the perfect timing for me to discover that I would switch routes. So honestly, even if Calvin hadn't given me figs, which I honestly, no, Granny doesn't want a different timeline, to be honest, with the whole fig thing. However, I do think that I would have somehow chosen something else. Like I would have gone with in a different direction. But my original idea was to become someone that gave people potions that would make them do batsus if they drank them, you know? Because I was trying to lighten the mood and like do kind of personal icebreakers. So if I was like, hey, here's a potion, now you have to speak like a cat girl for the next minute, like it would help me break the ice talking to people, because it immediately sort of puts things in a setting where it's like we can just have fun. It's because I'm nervous and I overthink all conversations and everything. So if I can just throw us into like a batsu funny mindset, if I can just kind of troll like that a little very lightly, I thought it would help me talk to people. But in the end, the figs and the jam was like way better. So I think I would have rolled away from potions and just done something else instead, honestly. My gosh. This next question. I know why you're asking this question. I know why you're asking this. All right, fine. Fine. What if Granny was in the maid cafe? Fine. I know, you guys are all mourning. You guys are all mourning the loss of Calvin Kurere, maid. Okay. Okay. お帰りなさいませ、ご主人様、お嬢様。やれやれ、お嬢様。Please, my name is Sebastian M. Please let me help you with anything that you may need, masters. Would you like a parfait? Or perhaps a dessert? Or maybe even watashi? That is not Granny Minterva. That's me. That's me. Granny would have been a little bit more like, oh, hello, young ones. What would you like? I feel like I'm a little bit old to be wearing a maid outfit, but don't you think it compliments my gray hair? That would be Granny. I think Granny would have joined the maid cafe for a day in a heartbeat, but it opened kind of late for her to join in. But I had so much fun with Lamp at the maid cafe. It was great. I think I would be a better butler though, because of my low voice, you know? Yada yada, Ojo-sama. It's time to go to bed. I mean, old lady maid cafes do exist. That's beautiful, and I love that. That's fantastic. That was a perfect time to transition outfits anyways. Hello everyone. It's made Mintmai now. This outfit I debuted like a little over a year ago for my birthday. And it's really, really cute, and I have really, really cute. Please take a good look at this because, oh my gosh. Fishnets are hard. Fishnets are hard to make look good on a model. But as you can see, it's my maid outfit. Thank you for adding 5 years to my lifespan. Anytime, Ojo-sama. Goshujin-sama. The fishnets are so cute. I like the garters. I'm kind of I'm really into garter belts. Not even wearing them, I just like looking at them. I'm obviously wearing them right now, but I selfishly really like, excuse me for a moment, I really like this, you know? Like, yeah. I really like the squish. Just a little bit. Call me a fish because I'd get caught in because I'd be caught in those. Well, anyways, I think Granny would have fun in the maid cafe. People also really like when I have my twin tails out. I have like a little earring on this outfit. Just on one ear, because I like asymmetrical earrings. Both on VTuber models and IRL. On me here and IRL. But, you know, maid cafe for a day could have been fun. Da, 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 da. Oh my gosh. Let's see. How up to date? Let's see. I've got another question. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this one up. How up to date were you with some of the other POVs during the event? Not at all. Not at all. I would occasionally see clips, but they were clips under my live tag, so I would see them. And I didn't even watch all of them, but I didn't get to see all of them like during VCRAFT. But if someone posted a clip and it was a scene that I was there part of, then yes, maybe I would watch it because it's something that I knew happened. So, yeah. I think I was not up to date with anyone's POV. Honest answer. I think I got really curious about a bunch of them in post, so I have been watching some. Very juicy, very fun to watch what other people were doing because it's drastically different from what I knew they were doing. But yeah. It's a good time. Okay. Next up. Oh yes, this is a cute question. Let's see. Was so happy to see so many big and smaller VTubers get together on VCRAFT Enchanted and have fun for 2 weeks. Hope it happens again soon. Is there anything you'd love to do in the next server, hypothetically, idea-wise? I totally understand that people want to see more of this again, and I think that the outpouring support that you guys have had for it, like, honestly, just you guys talking about it online, the clips, the fan art, that also tells people that it is something desired. You know what I mean? Because I think everyone that was planning, you know, VCRAFT Enchanted, like the Neezy Sanji members that were planning it, I think they definitely they had to work really hard, right, on the back end to make this happen, especially because it's open to it's open to people outside of a company. And so I think that takes a little bit of extra negotiation and trust, right? So I'm very, very honored to be invited to an event such as this. And I agree that it's really beautiful to see a bunch of creators getting together, regardless of regardless of their platforms. Because the mayor, our mayor, but rather Ruse had a great clip, like Ruse from Holostars had a great chat about this during VCRAFT Enchanted as well, where at the end of the day, we are all just people that really want to have fun, and we want to bring fun experiences to our fans, and we just want to make you happy and make cool content and have, you know, a good time and smile and laugh together. And so having VCRAFT Enchanted is just like nothing else mattered besides the RP, you know? And I think that was beautiful. It is a lot of work to set up on the back end, so I don't want to speak for anyone else. I don't want to say that something is going to happen again in the future, but I will say that you guys being extremely supportive and outspoken about VCRAFT, it definitely shows that there is a demand for it, you know what I mean? It shows that it is a desirable event. It shows that there's a lot of good to be had coming out of a huge mix of different VTubers together in a space. And that does more than that does more than you know. And it works like that for everything. So, you know, always loudly and proudly support your Oshis and the projects that you enjoy, because you never know just what, you know, you never know exactly the extent that it can help encourage them. Like, even if it's not literal, a lot of times it can just even be like the greatest pick-me-up, you know? It's definitely a breath of fresh air. Yeah, it is. It is a breath of fresh air. And it's amazing because it's like, you know, it was never about... it was never about, like, all of that to me. It was never about... I guess everyone loves... I don't know. not loves, but this is a word thrown around a lot just in life, right? I don't want to think about the entertainment industry or VTubing as a whole as like networking. Like, I get that people talk about it when it comes to jobs, but I'm just really happy and passionate to be here. And the fact that this event felt like the furthest thing from that. Like, this just felt like the most beautiful and like authentic experience we could have had with a bunch of people that that have never met before. I don't know, it was just really wonderful. It was wonderful and it was refreshing, and it made many of us really, really happy. And so yeah, I do see another question from someone, and I want to totally respect the question. Thank you for asking this next one. I'm not gonna pull it up on screen. I'm just gonna gloss over it because I don't want to pressure anyone else. So I most likely, please keep in mind, I most likely cannot sing duets of certain songs with people because of copyright stuff. It's basically, especially talents that are not indie, like me, which is a lot of people in VCRAFT Enchanted actually. So plenty of talents are not indie. Therefore, they do not have permissions to sing a lot of songs. Like, they can't officially cover it, and they wouldn't even be able to formally cover it on my channel either, because that's them. As far as a duet goes, you know, if we ever duet it amongst ourselves offline, it's just like it can't exist as public content, unfortunately. But thank you for understanding. Like, of course, in theory, you know, super cool, but yeah, remember there's definitely like behind the scenes stuff that you need to take care of as a VTuber that sometimes can be unexpected. One of those things, especially for VTubers and companies, is copyright stuff, and it's important that they stick to that and they abide by those rules. But yeah, I think VCRAFT truly felt like a community coming together and earnestly enjoying RP and gaming together. It felt really special and unique. I'm glad. I'm really glad. I don't know. We kind of like each other. I want to play games with them again sometime, you know? Even if it's not Minecraft, like, we're all really busy, but there is a general consensus of, in our own time, at our own pace, let us do something again. Let us at least hang out again. Okay, this question, let's see. This question I'll bring up, it's a little bit similar to the last one, but doesn't name a specific song, so let's see. Could there ever be a cover or collab from the Seaside Trio? Is that what you guys are nicknaming us now? I saw it floating around on Twitter, and I thought it was very, very cute. But I think it's one of those things where one or two of you guys started saying that about Granny, and then the neighbors, Calvin and Malum. But it picked up. I feel like I just saw it on Twitter, or like with fan art, and I'm like, whoa, that's really cute. But will there ever be a cover or collab? If so, what would they be? I can't quite say right now. I don't know. Everyone is very, you know, we all have our own sort of like different calendar schedules, but I would love to. I would love to. You know, very open invite. Seaside Trio, Seaside Neighbors. I mean, I was just saying how I think Malum wants us to play a horror game. I think Malum wants us to play a horror game. I, however, would want to do a chill Zatsudan first. Instead of throwing myself into the ringer because horror, I can't do it. I've never even played Five Nights at Freddy's. I called it the Seaside Trio a lot too. I think I started calling it that after I saw it on Twitter because I was like, that's adorable. That's really cute. But I think I still call the grandsons by their names separately more. That's adorable though. It was not even the sea, it was a lake. Guys, we're past this. We're past this. I think Calyx is also afraid of horror. I saw that he was playing a horror game though. Soonish. I did see whispers of Debonair saying that though, because I think my feed is full of Calyx and Malum fans. I've oomphed too hard, like I've oomphed too close to the sun. This is not a bad thing. It's very fun, but Lakeside. A horror collab would be objectively hilarious. Malam's gonna see that and he's gonna screenshot your chat and then he's gonna DM it to me and be like, see, Granny, you should buy Sons of the Forest while it's on sale. He's trying to break free of the fear. I guess if that were the case, we might be a bit similar there because I'm also really scared of horror. Hi, Stella. Hello, hello. Because I think the first horror games I played, it's like horror RPGs. I had to get into the story enough. So if I'm into the story, then maybe I can brave it if it's pixel RPG, because I really like Mad Father and Misao. And if you know either of those games, oh my gosh, they're a little bit scary. Misao is super disturbing. Mad Father is scary in a different way. But like, I really liked playing Mad Father and then Misao. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And there's definitely thematically some stuff that's really dark there. But I really liked them, even though they were horror. What about psychological horror? It's hard. Psychological horror, it depends. Funny enough, the art style really matters. The art style and the story will affect my decision to play a game. Like, I played Omori. I don't consider Omori horror, but the scary parts of Omori I still found very scary. And then there's Mad Father and Misao, which I really like, and they are horror, but they're really, really good. But then I have not played The Witch's House yet because it looks too scary to me. Do you find a difference in enjoying horror movies versus games? Yes. I enjoy neither. I enjoy neither. I do not like horror. I do not like horror movies because... Okay, so do you know that movie, the Wizard of Oz movie that came out many years ago? There's a scene where the Wicked Witch of the West like bites into an apple or something, and that's like the first time she like turns green or something. She like becomes like the green witch. But there's like a scene where she eats the apple and then she like slams her hand with like just like a scene of a table, and she like puts her green hand on the table, and she has like long nails now, and like she like scrapes the table. I thought that was so scary as a kid that I couldn't sleep. Well, I guess I wasn't that young, but I just couldn't handle it. I think I was still a kid though when that movie came out, maybe. But that was so scary I couldn't sleep that night. Just the scene of the hand slamming on the table and then leaving scratch marks on it. Yeah. Anyway, I think horror movies are just too scary because the music and everything. The Oz movie from Disney? I don't know who made it. It's like one of the newer ones, though. No, it's not. It's not Oz the Great and Powerful. It's a different one. There's a different movie. There's so many more Wizard of Oz movies than I thought. I don't know. Do you know Little Goody Two Shoes? I do! I love Little Goody Two Shoes. I love Little Goody Two Shoes. I'm sorry, I got really loud. I got really excited. I got a bad ending in Little Goody Two Shoes, so I actually have to replay it sometime. But I will say, okay, so I love Astral Shift. I think they put so much art and so much love into their games. I love the lore. I played Pocket Mirror because my friend recommended it to me. I love Pocket Mirror. And then I played Little Goody Two Shoes when it came out. Here's the thing with Little Goody Two Shoes though. There are certain game mechanics that are frustrating. Like literal game mechanics that are frustrating. And so as a result of that, I kind of have not gone back to replay it yet because I was soft locked and that what made me get a bad ending. So I feel like some RPG Maker games, the soft locks can be frustrating if they're not like smoothed out. So that's something that made it difficult for me to revisit it super soon. Also, once I finish a game with a certain ending, I like to give myself quite a bit of time to kind of forget the plot before I go back and play it again. I don't know if you guys are like that too, but yeah, I like to forget the plot. I guess for people that aren't really into horror, I would still recommend them start with, you know, pixel RPGs, because sometimes the story is good enough to help you push through the horror. I personally have been trying to be brave. I started with pixel, like scary pixel games, like Pocket Mirror and Mad Father and those, but then I did branch out and I played some Chilla's art. It was really scary, but I've played like 3 Chilla's art games. I played the Closing Shift. I played the Bathhouse, which I really, oh my gosh, that one was so scary. But the thing is, Chilla's art kind of balances parts that are cozy with parts that are really scary. And then I also played the Shinkansen. So I played those 3. So I do think that I've been... I mean, I can't say I've been building a tolerance, because every time I'm like super, super scared. But there is something happening there that makes me a little bit brave enough to play it. I also played Miside. And if you don't think Miside is a horror game, I respectfully disagree. Because I think that Miside is so scary. I like the story though. I like the story. But the scene, like any part of Miside with mannequins, I cried. I actually cried. I had tears in my eyes while playing it because it was so scary. You guys have to hear her. Wait, what? Rye, what are you saying? What are you saying about me? You guys have to hear her scream, Newer Flower Friends. It's so cute. Huh? Huh? You think my screaming is cute? Do you think this is just a game? I mean, I guess it literally is a game, but like, do you think this is just a game? My pain and my misery and my suffering. Did you guys know I have a toggle that looks like this? It is specifically to only be used when I get scared. And guess what? I almost never use the toggle because I never play horror games. And if I do play a horror game, I'm too scared to push the button that makes me look scared. Do you realize how silly I sound talking about toggles like that? I am too terrified to press a button to make me look scared. Because I'm too scared. I also have this. Ah. Not all of my newer toggles are on all my models, because it takes a lot of work to sometimes carry them over. I also have this one. No thoughts. Pink, pink. Seems like an opportunity to use the toggle. Oh my gosh. So scared. So scared. Anyways, back to this question though. I didn't get to finish reading the whole thing. Let's see. Could there ever be a cover or collab from the Seaside Trio? I would love to honestly reach out and ask. But honestly, I mean, I'm only one person. Out of the 3 people you're asking here, I'm only one person, and I want to make sure that no one ever has any pressure to plan anything, because it is a lot of work to put together collabs or cover collabs and things like that. And so, especially when we have varying amounts of work and very different schedules, just know that no matter what, our time at VCRAFT together is super, super special, and you know, we'll keep in touch. So yeah, you guys have great chemistry together. So glad you all met through VCRAFT Enchanted. Thank you. Thank you for your very sweet question. I think it's something that I would want to do eventually, you know? Yippee! Okay, let's see. Since Granny Minterva had lived through so many years, she would have been surrounded by so many people she was fond of before New Witchington. What made her specifically trust Calvin to kill her in the future? So Granny Minterva had lived through so many years. However, she was not surrounded by so many people she was fond of before New Witchington. That part is non-canon, at least to me. If you read the letter that Grandma wrote Calvin, it's pretty specific in the fact that it does outline the fact that Minterva is scared of getting to know people better. So it's not that she's never been part of a community, but she's never been like in the thick of a community. She's kind of just been on the sidelines before she eventually naturally moves out so that she doesn't stay in one place for too long. Because she doesn't want people to know that she's immortal. And because she's older too, she doesn't really want people to like mourn her like the loss of her as well. She's very scared of getting closer to people. So New Witchington, I believe, for Minterva, even though she's lived a long life, I think a lot of her life was pretty lonely. Outside of maybe her childhood, I think was very normal with parents. She was a moody teen, ran away from home lots, you know, argued, but she grew up eventually, outlived, you know, her parents. Any remaining family members, just outlived all of them. And then she just doesn't get, she's very much like doesn't get attached, you know? She'll be, you know, sometimes she'll still visit, or like she'll temporarily become part, or she'll move somewhere that's not too far from civilization, because she's not totally isolating herself, but she's always just like, don't get attached, you know? Stay close enough to the village so that you can get what you need, so you can get your necessities, but stay just far enough out of the way so that people are not extremely invested in you, and so that you're not extremely invested in them. That is her mentality. And that even carries over to where I choose to move in VCRAFT Enchanted. At first it was just because there was the witch hunter, and Minterva, a witch, is like, oh shoot, I better live kind of far. But I think she would never pick to be in the heat of a village. She wants to be a short walk away from the hustle and bustle of things. But even if she doesn't want to get attached, she does end up getting attached to New Witchington, because it's her first time being that involved with anyone and in a community like that. And so what makes her trust Calvin to kill her in the future is, one, I think she trusts Calvin a lot. Anyways. Like, I think she really trusts Calvin, and the most important thing is that she knows that Calvin at heart is very caring, but he would become powerful enough to find something that could kill her. Like, when she found that out, that he was amassing a lot of power, she saw that as a good chance for her to you know, find a way to be at peace. That's what I think. Next question, let's see. I just wanted to say I find you and your model adorable and so sweet. I'm so glad I was introduced to you through VCRAFT Enchanted. Thank you, Anonymous. Or thank you, anyone that thinks like this. I really, really appreciate it. I couldn't be more grateful for anyone that wants to hang out with me. It came as such a pleasant surprise. But I'm so, you know, I'm so grateful for everyone's support even after VCRAFT. Let's see. Oh, this is a good question too. I'm new. What was VCRAFT all about? I'm new, so I think I missed the whole event. So VCRAFT Enchanted is, imagine a Minecraft server, but it's mod in Minecraft. We use the Cottage Witch mod, which adds magic and some other like quality of life improvements to vanilla Minecraft, as well as decorative ones. And what you do is a bunch of us were in the server together, and we treat it like it is a real world, and we role play. So it is a bunch of people putting on silly little costumes and improvising. So we were all acting unscripted improv, and together we get to just form a story on the fly. Most of the time, no one knows what anyone else is doing, and we just have to roll with the punches. And it honestly, it made for such, like, we had such a crazy story. I highly recommend, you know, even if you're new, I highly recommend waiting for some people to come out with compilations. Because some people are compiling like mega, like multi-point of view recaps. And honestly, even if people do those, I'm super grateful for everyone for specifically clipping my point of view as well, because I do want to save those memories and see if I can throw something together for you guys as like a Minterva specific recap, so you can get up to speed if you're curious about the references. But welcome in! I don't want you to feel any FOMO. I know it's pretty hard to just be coming in after such a large event where everyone seems to be talking about this thing that you don't know about yet. But do stick around and see what we've got going on here, because I think VCRAFT Enchanted was really special, but we have more, you know, there's more exciting things to come, I'm sure. I'm confident in that. Let's see. Was there any other character trope that you were thinking of RPing for your character? Besides a grandma? Besides an old grandma, I think it's hard for me. The first time I ever roleplayed, I don't think I was roleplaying like as much. I didn't get to play nearly as much when I did a GTA roleplay many months ago. And I roleplayed as an otaku who was addicted to whaling and gacha games for waifus. So there was not really any emotional depth there. Not because of the character, but rather because there was just no chance for emotional depth. And there were so many different people in that server as well. I was very, I was honestly super nervous, but it was just fun. It was more of a silly RP. But now that I've experienced VCRAFT Enchanted, I feel like VCRAFT Enchanted was my first dip into any RP that like has narrative. Yeah, RP standing for role-playing. RP for short. Another character trope though, I always think, I'm gonna have to work my way there though. I want to be hot and evil someday. I want to be someone that is so evil, but like so hot that someone can be like, I support women's rights and women's wrongs. That is a character I think would be so fun to play. Some kind of like siren, you know? Someone that is alluring but evil at the same time. Although I will say when it comes to roleplay servers, it's gonna have to really depend on who's also there, because I feel like I have a difficulty playing a villainous character if I'm still meeting people for the first time. I can't help but wanna like... Maybe it's good that I went with Granny anyways. Because I just want to be very warm with new, like, people I've never met before. And after that too, like... Man. The problem is I cannot even fake being... I don't know, I can't even fake, like... I don't know. Like being evil. The acting. I think it would need to take some real acting practice, or some real... I guess I would have to have some notes for the character, or like how they would talk. I think it would be a fun challenge to play a character that actually talks very differently from me. Like, you know how Boog talks in third person? Or like Calvin talks in terms that are like, in truth, I must away. Like, I wanna have a character that actually experiences different vocabulary from me, because Granny is still very much close to me, but just like sounds older. All I have to do is sound a little older and then I get away with it, but I want a character that has a different demeanor from me. Different vernacular. Evil can take many forms, that is true. I don't know. I think villains are hard. Acting the villain is really hard, so I would have to give it a lot of thought. Let's see. I adore that you went with a cute grandma in a fantasy setting. Oh, this is a similar question to the last, actually, back to back. Honestly, there weren't any other ideas I considered before immediately going with Grandma Minterva. I immediately, like, I thought of it being a granny, and then I just immediately drew her, and I was like, yep, we're going with this. I didn't decide my VCRAFT character until like the day before. It was just, it spoke to me and it felt appropriate for the setting that I knew of. It felt right for everything I knew about VCRAFT. Yeah. Yeah, you can also be someone who's sweet but has a mouthful of lies or a silver tongue. Oh my gosh. Okay, I think this is the part where RP and IRL stuff starts blending for me. Or like where RP and IRL gets, like I get nervous about it. I feel like it is hard to act a pathological liar in roleplay without it affecting how you feel IRL. Like, I would feel so bad. That's the problem. I would feel so bad for chronically lying to everyone, even if it's just in RP. Cause I'm very, like, I'm such an overthinker. I would worry a little bit too much, I think. So I think I need a little bit more training. I think I already have very thick skin. I do. It's true. You guys never have to worry about me. I have such thick skin. However, at the same time, if I'm to play a character that's like just like really, really, you know, devious in that sense, it would make me feel bad outside of RP. I want to be evil, but like fun. It depends on the actor. Yeah, it would depend on how other people take it. But I also don't want to come out of this and be like, wow, I like lied the whole time through that RP. I would need to somehow have some kind of villain redemption, but it's difficult to ask for that. As the character you're RPing, you kind of have to earn it, and other people have to play along with it, which does take some work, right? I do think it's worth like acting and stuff. It's just the added difficulty of, you know, you have to separate yourself from your character, and other people need to separate like who you are from your character. It's a whole thing. That's why I respect people that play villains so much, because it's like, wow, you locked in and you acted your butt off and it came out amazing. I want to try it one day though, because I think it would be really, really challenging. Either that, or I'll steal Mlem's idea and I'll become yandere. I don't know for who, but did I ever explain that fully on stream? Malum in his VCRAFT recap specifically mentioned that he thinks that if anyone in the village was meaner to him, he would have started being a bit more yandere, or like possessive or yandere towards like things and or people, and I was like, what? Me thinking about the Malum that I met in VCRAFT is like, no way. And then as a joke, I was thinking in my head, I'm like, are you telling me that if like Granny was a really cranky, mean neighbor Granny, that you would have become yandere and you could have just fed the cinder buns for 12 days straight? Like, damn. Sorry, guys. Dogiza's in front of everyone. I'm sorry for depriving everybody. It's like how I saw Vox or Vitruvius II say that the true most villainous thing he did was deprive everyone of Maid Calvin, like Maid Cafe Calvin. Yeah, he was like one negative interaction away from having yandere Malum. Yeah, because Malum's character is a retired fire mage, and then he did not talk to the townspeople too much, but if he had like bad experiences with people in town, he might have gone in a different direction, right? But I think there's chance, you know, who knows, in the future. I think almost everyone, like most people that I've heard talking about VCRAFT Enchanted, they're like, if something like this ever happens again, like, or if we do like another kind of server, everyone does want to go with a different character. Maybe not everyone, but everyone that I've heard on their streams talk about it, like they want to develop, you know, because it's fun to try something new. Because if you lock your character into a certain archetype, essentially typecasting yourself, then, you know, you're kind of locking your interactions into going a certain way. Like if you're a really sweet character then all of your interactions are mostly going to be really sweet, which is nice, but yeah. Someone on Twitter said we could have gotten Maid Calvin and Yandere Malum so funny, and obviously not realistic, but I actually said that in someone's chat. I said that in Calyx's chat, and then someone screenshotted my chat and posted it on Twitter. And I know it because Malum sent me the tweet of my chat. I have proof of this because I can pull up the link really fast if I just go and find it. Hold on. I'm gonna go find the... Look! All that happened was I received this in my inbox and it said... I just received this in my inbox and all Malum said with the link was, "You're so funny." But that's my message. That is my chat. In Calyx's Calvin, I'm pretty sure it was the Calvin recap stream where he's talking about if he's stuck with the people of letters, which by the way, I never found out what that was about. Granny never knew what that was about and I still didn't know that that was a thing. The people of the letters, until I found out that they ended up being the Maid Cafe staff, but they were like people that were secretly practicing magic or something. Like Granny had no idea this happened. But this is me. Hearing that you could have been a maid and that Malum could have been Yandere is so crazy. Honestly, guys, you know, we really could have had it all. It'd be really funny it would be really funny if there was ever a chance for them to batsu it, you know, and show off their skills in those separate departments. It was a mage guild. Oh, I see. Yes, in case magic got banned by the mayor. It's so crazy, guys. I love what Ruse did with his character as Clifford Rolexis, because imagine how many things wouldn't have happened if the mayor just never said things one-off. Clifford Rolexis said one-off that they were gonna run for mayor, and that's why the election happened. He just said it on a whim. And then all of a sudden, everyone started scrambling on the server, and we're like, we're having an election? We're having an election? We're electing a mayor? And then someone tried to kill him when he was elected. And so then we had a whole court case that was almost 3 hours long, and at the end of that court case, that was Vitruvius's iconic crash out. That was like one of the balls that got things rolling. And so isn't it crazy that so many things just happen because Clifford Rolexis says something on a whim to his documentary crew? He was like, oh yes. Well, he was like, you know, I'm a witch hunter. That affected where I moved and lived, and the fact that I hid that I was a witch for a bit. And then like before he changed his ways, and then he got elected, and then people were like, oh no, what if the mayor like bans magic? Like they took it seriously, form a secret society. That's so crazy. His mother being Matsune Hiku made him abandon his witch hunter ways. Yes, and that was something that Nabubu said on a whim. That his mother might be the witch of song, the witch of song, Matsune Hiku. Did you guys hear him sing it? And I think it's clipped on Twitter. But there's a clip of Clifford Rolexis, not Ruse, but Clifford Rolexis going, Miku, Miku, you can call me Miku. Blue hair, blue eyes, hiding in your Wi-Fi. Like he sang it as Clifford Rolexis. My eyeballs fell out. It was so good. I couldn't believe my eyes. They just rolled right out of my sockets, fell on the floor. Sorry, that's a little bit graphic. I love being intense. It's so funny. It is so funny that so many things happen and like everything went as it did because everyone's small decisions just butterfly affected. I was at the karaoke too, yay! Oh my gosh. Send the mayor. Send the mayor all the bills for the emotional damage. No, it's not the mayor alone though that's responsible for the emotional damage. I'm just saying that I love that he did what is like, I love what he did with his character because he has, I hope he knows that so many things that he just said, like on a whim, one-off, like became very legitimate things because we heard him say it. Amazing. Alrighty, next up. Since you met a lot of people through VCRAFT, this is an interesting question too. Which person's actual personality surprised you the most compared to their character? I don't think I have a good answer for this, also because I think post VCRAFT, I'm actually still getting to know people for the first time, if that makes sense. You know, and I'm never gonna rush it, and people all have their own like lives, so I do not want to have the expectation, especially, you know, people that I haven't gotten to talk to very much. I don't have an expectation that we're gonna be like, you know, I don't want to monopolize their time, like, but if anyone sees this, obviously you can reach out to me and I'm happy to chat with anyone from New Witchington anytime. But I do think that most people have at least a little bit of Gatmoe. For Granny specifically, for me and Granny specifically, the most notable Gatmoe, because I already knew Boog and Sir Eve beforehand, and I also think that their characters were quite in line with how I see them anyways, like silly or sweet. You know, their personalities were very similar, if not just a little bit more like played up for the RP, right? Like when I see Boog is different from Maya, but I also see a lot of Maya in Boog, in just like the humor, because Maya's so freaking funny. Boog does not really give a Boog. And then Sir Eve being like, I'll protect like my sword, I'll protect like all the creatures and the critters, and I'm just kind of like, this really lines up with how I know them as people. But I think Calvin is a total 180 from Calyx. And I think that Malum is also similar but different. I think Calvin, it's very easy to see the difference if you look at the out of character talk, because that was my first time talking to Calyx. And he runs around like, I love those sped up gifs where Calvin or Calyx, but it's still like Calvin's character skin. So he's like running around me in circles as I like sit on the bench. That's probably what my brain looks like. My last 2 brain cells after I streamed Minecraft for 17 hours. Like that was my last 2 brain cells. Do 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 da 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 da. I do think that there's Gatmoe there, which I started noticing at one point in time. Towards the end though, because there were times where Calvin would very much be Calvin, and then sometimes you could hear a little bit of Calyx coming through. But Calyx did specify that every time that he did laugh, like he was toggling to mute the whole time, or like toggling to speak. So anytime he stayed unmuted to laugh, it was intentional. And so Calvin laughed in character at Granny's figs, which honestly probably made her very, very happy. She was so proud of her figs. But I do think that it just speaks to how good of an actor I think Calyx was for a first-time RP. Because Calvin's really like, I don't know, Calvin was a very convincing sort of like, you know, he speaks in that way because he's raised on books and very, very, not necessarily shy, but like soft-spoken and, you know, not used to socials, like, you know, not used to social situations. Because he's not socialized with like other humans. I did find that very impressive. the fact that it was that different, you know. But even the way you like talk in and out of RP can be very, very different. And then for Malum, the Gatmoe is that VCRAFT Malum is super, super sweet. And I think that real Malum is like way more mischievous. VCRAFT Enchanted Malum, which Malum dubs V Malum, is more like soft-spoken, gentle, like, oh yes, our sinigang is like wonderful, you know, it's like I highly recommend it. Yes, everything here is made fresh, like, oh yes. And he's like so sweet and gentle and soft-spoken. And then you see real Malum and he's a lot more gremlin. And I learned that his quote I guess his like his catchphrase is like at your disservice. And I think that that's a good catchphrase. Yeah. I think he's a lot more mischievous from what I've gotten to. I haven't gotten to like talk to Malum OOC outside of being in each other's chats and like just like Discord. But he sends a lot of gifs. We all send a lot of reaction gifs, actually. So I think the gremlin, yeah. You've been a fan of both Calyx and Malum since their debuts, and I agree. It must be so fun getting to see them interact too. They had a lot of interactions of their own that I saw clipped after VCRAFT. So I think, yeah, those two probably surprised me the most because I got to know their characters the most. And that's why I really felt that difference. He's not as nervous outside of a big server. I mean, I did clock him. I think he's like me, where it's like you can be very bold on stream, but like really shy as soon as you're in a room with a lot of other people. Let's see. Since you mentioned your friends, did you talk about VCRAFT with them after hours? If you're talking about the friends that I knew before VCRAFT, that I happened to be in VCRAFT with, which is just literally 2 other people that were not new faces in VCRAFT, we have not gotten to talk about it in post because VCRAFT was only, if you think about it, VCRAFT was only 5 days ago. It was only 5 days ago, and honestly, everyone's sleep schedule and exercise schedule and food schedule is ruined. And I think a lot of us are still bouncing back from it. I am amazed that the Knights of Ours and the Mages of Witchington were able to throw together a collab in such a short notice. That is impressive, and it made me very happy because I really missed hearing everyone in character too. So we haven't gotten to talk more extensively about it. Yeah. She gushed about it to me. Yes, I did. I gushed about it to Sugi, who was not in VCRAFT Enchanted, but she did watch some of it and she was rooting me on. By the way, Sugi, I hope you're doing wonderful, my lovely. Before calling Sugi, I messaged her and I was like, I'm almost ready to call. This is me right now. And I sent like a little cute emote of like Chikawa sitting on the toilet. And then Sugi responds with a hand holding toilet, like a roll of toilet paper. Get you supportive friends like that, you know? I hope you're doing so good. I know you said that, you know, you might be feeling some allergies. So if you're sick, please take care of yourself. Please rest. I know that you will. I know that you will do so good taking care of yourself. And I love you. I love you, Sugi. Mwah mwah. Half of these people have permanently messed up sleep schedules, so that's why. It feels like it was longer ago. It feels like it was a full week ago, actually. It might have been. Isn't today like Saturday? Oh, snap. Guys, it actually technically is like almost a full week since VCRAFT ended. I'm like that meme of the person laying on the soil and going, "We still talk about you." I'm that oomph that is like making the meme. Someone laying down on the ground and VCRAFT Enchanted is like buried 6 feet under. And I'm just like, "We still talk about you." If you bring it up in my chat, like I'm probably gonna... I'll probably entertain you for a little about it. For a while at least, you know? It's not all of my content. We all have our own things, but it is important to me. And I should like to bring it back once in a while. Hazumi said she couldn't snap back after a week that Minecraft ended, and it was like 2 days after the event. The first day after VCRAFT felt really long. I'll be honest. The first day after felt like the longest day ever because time passes differently in Minecraft. Let's see here. The question was, will Granny visit the Maid Butler Cafe again? She would become a Sebastian B regular because she was so charmed by Sebastian's yada yada. I think the maid cafe was really fun, but I think Granny would specifically request that butler every time because the other maids and butlers seem to provide a different experience. One that potentially sent people to the end. This is a similar question to what we had before, so I will, you know, kind of gloss over it. I'm so sorry if I'm speeding up for some of them. We have so many questions. But if this rolls along again, what character would you play next? I guess I don't know. It would have to depend on the vibe of the server. It depends on the mods that we use. I think that would affect my choice, right? Because like whether or not it has magic theme. I think if we did Cottage Witch again, I actually do want to learn magic though, because that seems so freaking cool. When I saw everyone like flying around and using magic, I was like, what? You can do that? I just put no time into researching any of it. I had no idea what the Cottage Witch mod was before, so I heard Cottage and I went with Cottage. But I think if it was the Cottage Witch mod again, I want to learn magic and I want to become hot and evil. Or just hot and cool, I don't know. Maybe I'll be too intimidated to be evil. Yeah, it felt really weird not having VCRAFT at the same time. Some people got scammed out of diamonds to be put in a tunnel of the People of Letters base. That is so funny. My butler was so good, I tipped them like 61 emeralds. Let's see. Does Granny eventually age over time, or does she permanently stay at one age? Actually, because Granny is a witch, she knows very minimal magic. I believe that Granny can choose her appearance. She is immortal, so I do assume that she ages a bit, but I think she can choose. She chooses currently to have her body at the appearance that it is, at the age that it is, because that's what makes her feel the best in New Witchington. She likes being an elder in New Witchington. She thinks it fits her because her mind is so much older anyways. But that's also why she pops the youth potion sometimes, because she's like, I feel like having, you know, I feel like wanting to feel like my knees are nice and bouncy today. She's very whimsical like that. I think she is full of whimsy. But she is very much like her current appearance and state is a choice. But she does age, just maybe not in the same way that you and I would age, right? I want that mod pack so bad. It's free! It is free! You could just... I'm pretty sure it's free, right? It's just on Thunderstore, or... It just exists. I can share it with you guys. It's the Cottage Witch mod pack. You can totally play a single player world. And I feel as though I feel if you decide once the server is out, if you choose to explore New Witchington, I would highly recommend having the mod pack anyways, right? Thank you so much, Maddie, for the raid. I really appreciate it. Welcome in, everyone. We're talking a little bit about VCRAFT Enchanted, which is an RP event I participated in for the last 2 weeks, a Minecraft role-playing event. So we're answering some questions about that today, but feel free to lurk around or ask me anything else. Let's see. Have I watched any other POVs of the other VCRAFT players now that the event is over? I have! Actually, one of the first POVs that wasn't mine that I watched was Malum's, because Malum and Calvin's, but I only watched the section with Seaside Cafe because I didn't want spoilers. I just like jumped to the timestamp. Thank goodness for, you know, timestamp commenters. I just jumped to a timestamp that was like Seaside Cafe themed, or like scrubbed the timeline. It was many days ago now, but it's because I wasn't streaming that day, so I wanted to see that part of their streams. And it was really fun. I just took a peek at that. But other than that, since VCRAFT ended, I've been watching a little bit of POVs here and there, mostly clips because I haven't had time to like sit down and watch streams. Hope you're having a lovely stream. I am, Maddie. I hope you had a good stream too. I hope you had so much fun just chatting with your community. But I have been watching some I think I was really curious about Calvin, like Calvin's whole playthrough, as well as Zealand's, and also I think like Nabubu. I didn't get to talk to her too much, but I was super curious about how like the apprenticeship with Vitruvius went before things, you know, started changing and shifting. So I've been looking at some POVs here and there. The mayor's POV, you know, Ruse's POV is super fun too because he does not break character. It's impressive. He does not break character, like not even to his chat. He's still Clifford Rolexis, and he's just like, documentary crew! So super, super fun. It feels wildly different depending on which POV you're watching. Wildly different. I think I still want to watch a lot more because I honestly think like there's some people I barely saw in New Witchington, but like they have their own POV too. And they were doing cool things as well. And I'm like, I wanted to know about that. Like the engineer, you know, like Luca, like what was he doing the whole time? I saw him so much, but also so little. You know what I mean? Like he would appear and then he would be gone because he was spying on everyone else. Oh my gosh, wait, one of my favorite lines in VCRAFT is when Granny said, what if you get hungry? What if you get hungry? What if the person you're looking for is hungry when you find them? I honestly thought of that on the spot, but I was pretty proud of that line. I think that was my true inner Granny coming out. I mommed so hard in that moment. That line really hit me, especially because Granny didn't even know who Calvin was looking for at the time. I did not know who he was looking for, and it didn't seem like that he wanted to open up about it at the time, and Granny would not pry. She would be curious, but she wouldn't pry Calvin. I think it's such a touching yet heartbreaking moment. As for the Gap Moe part, I'm a little surprised Mintmai is such a yapper. Me? A yapper? No. Sorry. Not sorry, though. You should never apologize for how you are, so I should not apologize for the way I am. But I am really a yapper. I think in the first maybe year I started streaming, I was a bit calmer, more cozy. But the more comfortable I get around people, the more obnoxious I get. But I think Granny, that was very much, it was coming from my heart, but it was also Granny. It's not negative. I figured. It was cute though. Gap Moe, huh? Bleh. I am a yapper and I'm proud. I just love it. You guys entertain me so much. I entertain you in return. We are in an eternal cycle of entertaining each other. Hi Mint, outside of the out of all the interactions that came out of VCRAFT, the trio with Granny, Malum, and Calvin was my favorite of all time. That's really sweet. Aww. I've also been seeing some very adorable fan art. Is there a name for this trio? I would have to ask the other two, you know, if they have a preference. I would need to check. But for now, I've kind of been following along with what I see people saying on Twitter, which is Seaside Trio, because technically, I think a lot of our conversations started at Seaside Cafe, or that's when I felt very connected and like I was having a very cozy time. So Seaside Trio, even though it isn't by a lake, it's Seaside Trio. That's what I guess that's what I would nickname it for now, outside of just referring to them by name. But yeah, I had very heartfelt conversations with people and I'm forever very, very grateful for that. Let's see. What is a TTRPG? I don't know what a TTRPG is. I was actually not much of a gamer before picking up, before streaming. How goes Miss Minterva? She's doing well. She's taking a nap. Granny's taking a nap. It's a sea in our hearts, exactly. It is a sea in our hearts. tabletop role-playing game. Oh, will you be planning on joining any tabletop role-playing game or murder mystery roleplay streams? I would love to. Oh, like Dungeons and Dragons. Ah, yes. Yes. I actually do hope to participate in some D&D related stuff sometime. No specifics there. I've just always been curious about D&D, so I would love to make a character and play D&D sometime with people. Although, you know, no specific date or plan for that yet. Murder mystery roleplay stream. I would be so... I love murder mysteries. I would be so ecstatic to do any kind of murder mystery roleplay stream. I don't know if I quite have the time to set it up, but one day if I did, you know, I think different kinds of roleplay streams could be so fun with people that I've met. Thank you for asking. Thank you for your question. Wait, hold on. This next question I'm so curious about. Did you know that 3 people in total were in attendance for your farmer's market, but were all invisible? I did not know this. Calvin was one of them, but it's really funny to me to think that they were in different areas of the farmer's market watching from afar. None of them knew that the others were present, but also invisible. Honestly, it's crazy, because my farmer's market happened at really high tension times for New Witchington. Who are the others? Could I ask? I know Vitruvius II showed up, like in the morning, and that was fine. I don't know if he showed up again, but invisible. Does anyone know who the other 2 were? I'm guessing that they were all people that didn't want to show up in the village. I assume. That's so crazy. I hope they thought it was cute. I think Violet? Violet? You bet one was Elle? I'm gonna be so honest. Granny did not see Elle for like the entire time that VCRAFT Enchanted was happening. Granny saw Elle maybe one time on the first day and then never saw Elle again, and then Elle was brought back up and Granny was like, whoa. Wow. Oh, it was Elle and Violet? Maybe? People are confirming Violet for sure. Violet is so sweet. Oh my gosh. I love their final sermon at the monastery. That actually reminds me. Thank you guys. I have to organize and I have to share all of the photos. The VCRAFT Enchanted photos, guys. There are so many. So many. I'm gonna have to make like an image slideshow. Hold on. I might as well do another slideshow and then I can find it. Okay. I have so many screenshots, you guys. Can I fit them over here? I should have had these up the whole time too. I had so many screenshots because sometimes I would misclick. The screen only gets more cluttered as we yap. That's okay though. I have so many pictures. So many pictures. I think Granny never met Elle or Lament, only Lucky. Oh, if it was the first day? Yeah, maybe I ran into Lucky like one time. That is so funny. I'm so glad that they came to the farmer's market though. I didn't know that. Thank you for telling me. Let's see. Hi. First of all, you're very cute. Oh my, thank you. But for my question, what do you think was the funniest moment that just makes you laugh every time you remember it? So glad I could find you through VCRAFT. Oh my gosh. There's a couple. I think the first one chronologically was when our group had like the first group I was with, like traveling with, accidentally stole from Vitruvius's tower And then we put them back, but then we did it like, but we didn't have the wood. And so he found his door vandalized. And so we went, like a couple of us went back with Boog to go and put the logs, like the stripped dark oak log back. And that heist, and we were like whispering to each other and fixing it. And then he caught us. He walked in and he was like, hello there. And that was my first interaction with Vitruvius. And so I was like, oh my gosh. We are caught red-handed, and I lied through my teeth. Granny, that was the only, like, one of the only times Granny lied, if not the only time Granny Minterva lied. It was to protect Boog. So she was like thinking about her friends, and so like no one was saying anything, and he was like, do you mind telling me what you're doing in my house, right? So Granny Minterva goes, we're freelance architects. I see that we noticed that your door had a bit of an issue, and he was like, it didn't have an issue before. But honestly, we were trying to just like be there all together. The funniest part is we were only there for so long because the blocks kept getting placed in the wrong orientation. If we placed them the right way around the first time, we would have gotten out of there before he came home, which is so funny to me. We kept breaking and like replacing them because the logs were facing the wrong direction. So that makes me crack up a lot. The other thing that makes me crack up a lot is the penguin paternity test. I actually did record it, just for myself, but you can see it from other POVs. The penguin paternity test has me crack up, and now knowing that Frayed used Minecraft science to rig it makes it even funnier. The fact that Shu immediately is like, oh man, I guess I am the father. Shu made me laugh so much also because I think it's like he wasn't playing a character that was very strongly different from himself. Like, yes, he was Chunibyo. Yes, we found out he had the Death Note. But I think that he wasn't playing a character that was like very drastically different from himself. And so everything he would say would be so funny to me a lot of the time. The other thing that makes me laugh is when I accidentally stripped Boog's wind chime so that it wasn't green anymore. Like I skinned it with my axe because I was trying to hit it to make a sound. But I stripped it with my axe and I made it like a light tan color. But I know that Boog likes green, and so I flipped out and I was like, I crawled over to Shu and I was like, please give me a wind chime. Because I knew Boog liked that wind chime, and I replaced it in secret and like ran home. The other thing that makes me crack up is when Calvin quietly was admitting that the beach was his handiwork. The devastated beach across the way, because he was laughing so much. Like he was suppressing his laughter about it. I could hear just how funny he thought it was. Seaside Cafe opening day is a great memory, and I think that the devastated beach across the way is another thing that makes me laugh every time I remember it. There's another scene, and I didn't get to talk to Luca's character very much. However, the one conversation we did get to have kind of one-on-one, he was like, do you know what it feels like if you're a breakfast plate and you're the eggs, but there's like delicious juicy bacon next to you? I just think about that conversation sometimes. And I'm like, but between bacon and eggs, like I'd choose the eggs. Eggs are better. Eggs are tastier. You can make eggs so many different ways. Eggs are infinitely better than bacon. Funny how that works, huh? You should really watch some of my VCRAFT POVs if you want to check them out. Some of them have timestamps. Quite fun. Let's see. When I started watching you, you were doing talks with a guest. Yes, I have Toast Talks. It has been a very long time since I've last had a Toast Talks. I think in part that was mostly because I wanted to relax a little bit on how much pre-planning I needed to put into streams. I kind of wanted to be able to just like, you know, come here, hang out with you guys, play game, do art. And that was because I was working on my Idol concert amongst other projects. And so by pausing Toast Talks, I didn't have to go out of my way to like schedule collabs and prepare a talk show. However, I think it would be really cool to do some VCRAFT related ones, or just to, you know, bring them back, but it doesn't have to be like a really hard commitment thing. It can just be once in a while. Yeah, I can show you guys my Toast Talks room. I still have it. Want to see it? You didn't answer. Hey. You didn't answer fast enough. I chose to bring you guys here anyways. This is my Toast Talks room. It's a podcast. Yeah. I don't know where the mic went. There used to be a microphone in the middle. But anyways, that's what that is. Yippee! Yeah, I drew the table and the chair assets for that. And it was really fun. It was an excuse to just do chatting, Zatsudan streams with friends, and to get to know them. The illusion of choice. But yeah, I think it's not off the table for me. I feel like I have a lot on my plate at the moment, but I would sure love to surprise you guys and bring back some fun chats with VCRAFT peeps for now. Okay, guys. That is actually all of the questions for today. I will not answer new ones for now because I've been going for a hot minute. Can you put Granny in the other seat? You want me to interview her? Oh my gosh. Hold on. So, you know, to sum up your VCRAFT Enchanted experience, well, what would you say? What would you say, dear Granny Minterva?
Oh, it was wonderful. I would rate it 100. Actually, no. I would rate it 2,000 figs out of 2,000 figs. 10 out of 10 would do again. That's what the kids say.
Okay. Thank you for your time. I know you gotta go to bed now.
Yes. I think I'll take a rest right here. Actually, this is a very comfortable chair. Yes. Oh, yep. Sounds good. Yeah. Go ahead and take your nap.
That's great. That's great, Granny. I'll need to attend to our live studio audience. Talk to you again next time. My gosh, she is the world's sleepiest old woman. She is really the sleepiest. The world's the sleepiest soldier. I think that is another tidbit about her. That is very canon and very relatable. She is just so sleepy. So sleepy. Well. You guys. Thank you very much for chatting with me. She'll never leave the chair. It's hers now. Yeah, she's napping there now. Thank you guys so much for yapping with me, for listening to my chit-chatting, my rambles about VCRAFT. I'm very, very, very grateful for the fact that a lot of us got to meet each other thanks to VCRAFT. I have so much fun talking with all of you guys. And I will see you guys. Oh my gosh. I'll see you guys when I'm back. It's always my timing for going on vacation is always unfortunate because I totally want to yap more about VCRAFT and whatnot, but I do think, hold on, I'll get changed back into my baker uniform. Do think it's a good time for us to sort of wind down. I'm gonna see so much nature. Hi guys. Hello. Man, look look at all these pictures! I think they're just rolling in chronological order. But, yeah, thank you guys. Thank you guys for a really fantastic time. Thank you, VCRAFT, for some of the most amazing memories in my time as a streamer. I never would have thought. I never would have thunk. But yeah. Thank you guys so much. Otsu Q&A. Otsu Q&A. Otsu, have a lovely time. Thank you everyone who liked, you know, Granny Minterva as a character. Even if you don't get to see her as much in the same context, please know that she does live on making her fig jams. And yeah, I care about this community so much. And I'm so grateful for any new friends and, you know, for new familiar faces. You know, unfamiliar faces that become familiar faces. But yeah. I have really enjoyed my time. And I thought this was just the perfect, you know, the perfect stream to wrap up, I guess, this arc. Oh my gosh. I'm totally gonna throw you guys into another AMA. Let's do it. My good friend and a VTuber I love so much is doing an Ask Me Anything as well. They're doing an Ask Me Anything, not necessarily just as Boog, but like as Maya. And I think that, you know, if you liked Boog and VCRAFT Enchanted, who is so fun, so silly, if you haven't seen Boog POVs, definitely check out some of them, for sure. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and raid Boog. Let me see if I can. I'll try the YouTube thing again. It's always a little bit later, so you'll need to forgive me, everyone. But for today, I must go. I was so tempted to say I must away. I must go. Yes. All right. So you guys, it will be a little bit delayed, perhaps, but you guys will go over to Maya's stream after this. And say hi to her for me, okay? What's Mintmai? I gotta rest up and I gotta pack because I'm touching grass soon. Soon TM. I have to pet all of my cats a lot too because my friend's gonna come and watch them for the week. And I'm gonna miss them a lot, but I need to touch grass. I'm gonna get all of my snuggles in. Cat snuggles. Bye, guys! Wait. I messed up the projector. Mintmai rocket is blasting off again. And thank you, VCRAFT Enchanted. Thank you. I will think about you forever. Nobody does it like you. I will yearn for you forever. Thank you, everyone. I had the best time of my life. Bye bye, Mintmai love.